Hello, your channel Eugene Light Novels greets you. I hope you are enjoying these beautiful novels. Now, let's continue with the novel, Dig My Dual Pupil Supreme Bone, Why Are You Crying When I Become a God of Death? First part. Chapter 1, The Supreme Killing God System. Brain Storage. Liang Dynasty. Bailiang City. Yi Family. In the luxurious hall, the middle-aged man in the high position was not angry and intimidating, and his whole body exuded a terrifying aura, giving people a feeling of domination in the world. Sitting next to her was a lady in a red robe, her eyes showing a sharp aura from time to time, and the terrifying sword intent appearing and disappearing, as if she was about to break through the hall. Standing next to them was a young man with an elegant figure. He looked at the young man below with keen eyes, not knowing what he was thinking. Yi Chen looked at the unfamiliar surroundings and the people above him with doubts in his eyes. What the hell? Then the next second I had a splitting headache, and there were some fragmented memories in my mind, and I realized that I had been transported to a fantasy world. Practitioners can move mountains and seas, fly into the sky and escape from the earth, and even worse, they can turn the world upside down, reach for the stars and the moon, and other terrifying powers. The middle-aged man in front of him is his father Yi Kuang, a king with a different surname from the Liang dynasty, who guards the 13 states of Bailiang and controls millions of black armor troops. He once single-handedly slaughtered an army of 3 million barbarian aliens, and he had such a ferocious reputation that even the royal family was somewhat afraid of him. The woman in red robe is her mother Murong Shui, a saint from a reclusive family with a background as high as heaven. The young man is his third brother Yi Kong, who has an invincible physical space body. He has become a strong man in the transcending tribulation realm at a young age and is proficient in various space secrets. As a modern blue star person, Yi Chen clearly represents the second-generation son of a wealthy family. If he has such conditions, he can't even struggle, so he might as well just lie down. The ancients never deceived me. In my previous life, I was a delivery boy, running around day after day, experiencing countless ups and downs and difficulties, just for a few taels of silver. Who would have thought that on a rainy night, he would finally encounter the legendary big truck and transport himself to a mortal cultivation world? Finally got rid of the tragic fate and started a new life again. You be ***********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************̈ down quickly. While he was dreaming about a better life in the future, Yi Kuang shouted angrily and brought Yi Chen back to reality, followed by a powerful pressure. Bang! He fell to his knees on the ground, and the severe pain almost made him scream. If he looked carefully, he could see some blood on the ground. Mother Murong Shui had an unspeakable expression on her face, but she soon returned to her original state, her expression extremely calm, as if Yi Chen was an insignificant person. Am I your biological child? Angry. Yi Chen was really angry. Whose parents would treat their son like this, staring at Yi Kuang with a look of disbelief on his face? In his previous life, he was an orphan and had always been in poverty. He thought that in this world, he would enjoy the family love he once longed for, but the reality gave him a big slap in the face. Crack. But before he could recover, a clearly visible slap mark appeared on his face. The powerful force made him fly out, and he lay on the ground vomiting blood. It was Yi Kuang who took action. At this time, he stood up from his seat with a scowl on his face. The terrifying pressure filled the entire hall, regardless of whether Yi Chen could bear it or not. You are so rebellious that you actually said such words. I have raised you for so many years in vain. The voice revealed endless indifference. Yi Chen endured the pain and stood up. At this moment, his mind acquired complete memories, and the scenes flowed rapidly. When I was born, the purple energy traveled 90,000 miles from the east, dragons and phoenixes appeared, and all kinds of strange phenomena appeared in the world. Human sovereign bloodline, invincible dual pupils, supreme sword bone, 3 heaven-defying physiques come together in one body. At the age of 9, his cultivation level climbed to the semi-saint 9th layer level, and his combat power surpassed that of ordinary saints. He was expected to become the youngest powerful saint in history, but unexpectedly, he suddenly aroused the wrath of heaven and unleashed 99 and 81 heavenly tribulations. Although he survived by luck, he suffered irreversible damage and his cultivation level fell to the innate state. After spending countless amounts of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, it cannot be restored, and it cannot continue to practice. It is almost no different from waste. My parents gradually neglected me. The 3 older brothers constantly suppressed and excluded him. When he was 13 years old, his eldest brother Yifeng had his human sovereign bloodline taken away from him. During this period, he experienced 7 or 49 days of pain, and the scream spread throughout the Yi family. As a result, his cultivation level fell to the condensing Yuan realm, and it took him a long time to get out of the shadows. The good times did not last long. When I was 16 years old, the second brother Yi Yun forcibly dug out his supreme sword bone. The pain is still vivid in his mind, and his cultivation level has even dropped to the spiritual sea level. Later, the third brother Yi Kong occupied his other courtyard and was reduced to living and eating with the palace's servants. The biological parents in front of them turned a blind eye to all kinds of things, and the servants of the palace were also unscrupulous, bullying and scolding Yi Chen. Now he is even more cruel and cruel. When he is coming of age at the age of 18, he plans to personally dig out the invincible dual pupils and give them to his third brother Yi Kong. The original body couldn't bear the double blow of spirit and body, and quietly committed suicide, giving himself a chance to transmigrate. Did you get the wrong script? After Yi Chen browsed through all his memories, he felt numb. In his previous life, he lived like a dog, but in this life, he was even worse than a dog. It can be said that Tianhu starts the game and ends with heavenly collapse. The 2 lives before and after add up to one word. Miserable. 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 It's simply inhumane. Yi Chen was a little panicked. Others transmigrated the great emperor cultivation level, immortality, etc. If the ring was hidden by an old man or something, it would be different if he changed it. Unfair. So unfair. Tongzi, come out quickly, I want to defying the heavens and changing fate. The system is great, are you here? After calling several times but getting no response, Yi Chen looked at the ring in his hand. Grandpa, stop hiding, I know you are inside. Unfortunately, there is still no movement. Seeing Yi Fei's weird behavior, Yi Kuang looked impatient and said coldly. It's no use pretending to be crazy. Your third brother has a space god body and needs your dual pupils. Do you know what to do? Yi Chen laughed maniacally when he heard this. Sadness filled his heart, and the nails of his hands pierced into the flesh. He really couldn't imagine having such cold-blooded parents. You took my human sovereign bloodline, took away my supreme sword bone, and now you want to dig out my invincible dual pupils. You are really the best parents in the world. If it has no value, can it be treated as an abandoned child? Blood and family ties are not worth mentioning in their eyes? Yi Kuang had an embarrassed look on his face. He didn't expect that his usually obedient little son would dare to ridicule him. He was going against the grain, so he shouted angrily. The Yi family, are one of the 3 elites. We don't need trash like you at all. After dual pupils contributes, we can just eat and die in peace. Yi Chen looked at the indifferent relatives above, with endless resentment in his eyes, but he had no ability to resist all this, and his heart was full of unwillingness. Ding, the host's overwhelming hatred has been detected. The Supreme Killing God system is successfully bound. The system is great, you are finally here. The voice in my mind is like the sound of nature. The system will be late, never absent. Tongzi, you are not allowed to show off when you meet, such as starting with Great Emperor cultivation or Quasi-Emperor cultivation, or gift packages for newbies. No, you need to work hard if you want to become stronger. No? Yi Chen was heartbroken when he heard this. He thought that obtaining the system would change the current situation, but he didn't know that he still needed to work hard. Sad. How sad. I really feel like crying without tears. Damn, then what do I need you for? Kill, 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 kill. The host will continue to become stronger in the killing. After the system is successfully bound, you have 2 options for activating it, and you can get different rewards. The first choice, it is better to be broken than to be destroyed. Destroy the invincible dual pupils, reward the killing god body, upgrade the realm to 18 levels in a row, and get a Holy Emperor experience card. The second option is to complete the first kill and be rewarded with a killing body, 10 levels in a row, and a Saint experience card. P.S. Human Sovereign Realm Division. Tempered Body, Spiritual Sea, Condensed Essence. Innate, Sky Control, Divine Ability. Golden Body, 10,000 dermas, Heavenly Origin. Shattering Void, Transcending Tribulation, Half Saint. Saint, Saint King, Saint Emperor. Quasi-Emperor, Great Emperor, Supreme. Each realm is divided into 9th layer. Chapter 2. I won't give it to you even if it's destroyed. Tongzi, you're pretty cool. Yi Chen saw the 2 conditions for activating the system and shrugged helplessly. He had to rely on himself for everything in love. Although the rewards are very generous, the difficulty is very high, and it is really difficult to achieve it. The first choice was to destroy the invincible dual pupils, which was a bit too crazy. Besides, he was too weak and the above people could not give him this opportunity. The second choice to complete the first kill is equally difficult. Yi Kong, the weakest person in the field, has the strength of transcending tribulation realm. It is simply unrealistic for me to kill the opponent with the strength of the Linghai realm. But if you can't do it, you will lose the invincible dual pupils today, your cultivation will definitely drop significantly, and you may even become a cripple. It will be even harder to kill someone by then. It seems that you can't get out of the predicament no matter what you do, which is really disappointing. Damn it, what should I do? Yi Chen's thoughts were racing rapidly, trying to find a way to get the best of both worlds. Murong Shui saw that Yi Chen behaved strangely and kept saying things that others could not understand. She couldn't help but wonder if her youngest son had a mental problem. After all, the successive blows were unbearable for anyone. Thinking of this, he slowly stood up and wanted to enlighten him. Chenner, since you can't continue practicing anyway, it's better to give the dual pupils to your third brother. In the future, he will be powerful in the human sovereign world and bring glory to the Yi family. Don't care too much about gains and losses. It's just for you to swap eyes with each other. It's no big deal. You can open your eyes to see the world in the future. The Yi family will protect you for the rest of your life. Isn't it good to be a dandy young master in peace and quiet? Yi Chen turned his head and looked at Murong Shui. His matter-of-fact tone immediately made him feel furious. I really don't know what kind of mother can say such a thing. Looking directly at his parents above, his expression became extremely cold. If I guess correctly, you definitely picked me up. I can't believe there are such cruel parents in the world. Shelter for life, F***ku. Yi Chen's expression turned ferocious, his eyes glaring wildly, almost on the verge of going berserk. Hearing this, a cold look appeared on Yi Kong's face, his eyes shot out divine light, and he knocked Yi Chen flying out, hitting the pillars of the hall hard. You dare to be disrespectful to your parents. You are really reckless. If it happens again, I will kill you with my own hands. I have a space divine body, can travel through the endless void, and have invincible divine power. If paired with dual pupils, I will become the great emperor in the future. It's your honor to give dual pupils to me, you know? Yi Kuang was unmoved upon seeing this, feeling that Yi Chen was ignorant and deserved to die, just as his third son said. But Murong Shui was a woman, and when she saw the brothers killing each other, she was touched in her heart, so she went to help Yi Chen, who was vomiting blood and fell to the ground. Chenner, don't be willful anymore. We are all doing this for your own good. Don't be resentful. Everything will pass. The words that seemed to be caring were full of accusations. Yi Chen was completely disappointed with this family. He threw Murong Shui away with all his strength, his eyes indifferent to the mother in front of him. The eldest brother took the human sovereign bloodline, and the second brother took the supreme sword bone. Do you understand the pain I went through? The servants of the Yi family can bully me at will. Have you ever cared about it? Now you have to dig up my dual pupils. When I lose everything, I can throw them away completely, right? 3 consecutive questions from the depths of her soul left Murong Shui speechless for a moment. The Yi Chen in front of her was the flesh that fell from her body no matter what. Originally, he had a halo, but fate manipulated him and turned him into a waste. But that was not Yi Chen's fault, and he shouldn't have to endure so much pain. She was ignored by her blood relatives, even had her blood drawn and her bones removed, and now she has to have her pupils gouged out. Yi Chen has endured too much mental and physical damage, and it is really not easy to persist until now. Thinking of this, Murong Shui's eyes became wet, and she regretted her previous behavior, so she reached out to touch Yi Chen's head. "My child, I have made you suffer so much. No one can take away your dual pupils today. Mother will definitely compensate you twice as much in the future." Yi Chen took a step back without hesitation, not believing what Murong Shui said at all, and said expressionlessly, "No need, I don't have a mother like you. I will take back your ridiculous mercy. Sooner or later, I will take back everything I have lost." Murong Shui's body trembled, and she slowly took back her palm that was about to fall, with a look of sadness in her beautiful eyes. I wonder how sad Yi Chen is to say such heartless words. At this time, a terrifying murderous intention appeared all over Yi Kong, and it seemed that Murong Shui's sleeping maternal love seemed to be slowly awakened. In order to avoid accidents, we must cut through the mess quickly and seize Yi Chen's invincible dual pupils quickly, otherwise all previous plans will be in vain. "Mother, my fourth brother doesn't even recognize you. It's simply treasonous. Let the child teach him a lesson." Then the figure flashed and came to Yi Chen, wanting to dig out the invincible pair of dual pupils. "Konger, stop." Murong Shui raised her hand to gather a divine light, protected the seriously injured Yi Chen, knocked Yi Kong away, and then said with a firm expression, "No one can hurt Chinner today, otherwise why would I never let you go?" After Yi Kong stabilized his figure, his expression became a little ugly. He didn't expect that his mother, who usually loved him, would actually attack Yi Chen, a loser. "Mother, don't be angry. The child is just angry for a moment. I want to teach my fourth brother a lesson for you to vent your anger. Murong Shui owns the Holy King realm. It is impossible to take Yi Chen's dual pupils by force. She can't help but look at Yi Kuang above." Yi Kuang was a little confused and didn't understand why things turned out like this. Murong Shui suddenly protected Yi Chen, which made him very embarrassed. Previously, he promised Yi Kong that he would fuse with dual pupils to gain even more terrifying potential. "Madam, I don't need to tell you how huge the potential is with the space god body and the invincible dual pupils. In the future, he will definitely be as famous as the eldest and second eldest in the human sovereign world. There's no need to delay Konger's future for a rebellious waste. You have to think clearly about what's more important. The law of the jungle is the eternal truth. Yi Chen has lost his talent for cultivation. Why not help his 3 brothers?" Murong Shui fell silent after hearing this, but after a moment, she shook her head vigorously. "No, Chinner is also our son. We can't continue to favor one over the other, otherwise we will really lose him." She had a vague intuition that she would lose Yi Chen as her son, and she hoped she could do something to make up for it now. Yi Chen sneered at Murong Shui's change. No matter whether his current attitude was true or false, it didn't mean much. A heart riddled with holes can never be healed. "Huh, Murong Shui, why are you so hypocritical? I don't need your protection. If you want my dual pupils, just take them." Murong Shui's heart hurt, and she turned back to look at her youngest son, only to see an even more distressing scene. Yi Chen's eyes burst out with bright divine light, his left eye overflowed with a large amount of vitality, his right eye overflowed with destructive power, and the fire of the netherworld burned blazingly. "Sir, what do you want to do?" Yi Kuang felt something was wrong. Nuosi yelled angrily, with a terrifying aura all over his body, and scared away Murong Shui in front of him. Murong Shui was not to be outdone, her whole body surged with sword intent, and she started fighting with Yi Kuang, causing the hall to shake. "Madam, don't be impulsive." Yi Kuang's face was very ugly. Naturally, he didn't want the couple to kill each other, so he had to keep retreating and tried his best to comfort Murong Shui's emotions. At the same time, the power is used to protect the main hall, otherwise the main hall of Baelyang Prince's mansion collapses, which will definitely make outsiders laugh. Huh, I won't give you dual pupils even if I destroy them. Yi Chen laughed maniacally, seized the brief opportunity, dug out his own eyes, and resolutely threw them into the netherworld fire in front of him. Dual pupils are very powerful. If you want to destroy them, you can only rely on the power of dual pupils itself. After activating the system, you can get more generous rewards. At that time, with the Holy Emperor's cultivation experience card, it will not be a problem to directly defeat the Yi family. The sea is wide enough for fish to leap, and the sky is high enough for birds to fly. With the system in hand, I own the world. Everything that has been lost will be taken back sooner or later, and the pain experienced will definitely make the other party pay it back 10,000 times. Chapter 3, Trample an ant to death and get 10 levels in a row? Damn, you're crazy to want to destroy dual pupils. Yi Kong suddenly became anxious. If Yi Chen succeeded, all his previous plans would be ruined, and he quickly used his powerful secret technique. Countless divine lights suddenly shot out and began to distort the surrounding space, trying to break through the defense arranged by Murong Shui. However, the gap between the two sides is too big. Murong Shui from the Saint King realm is very powerful even if he gathers the divine light casually. Yi Kuang's eyes gushed out with terrible anger. He didn't expect Yi Chen to be so decisive, as if he was going to die together. What a traitor! I would rather destroy dual pupils than give it to your brother. You are so cruel. Dual pupils are very precious, so he naturally does not allow them to be destroyed. A magic sword appears in his hand, and the terrifying blade intent rises into the sky. Boom! The luxurious hall instantly collapsed, and the terrifying power shook Murong Shui away, followed by a big hand that destroyed the divine light around Yi Chen. The guards and servants of the Yi family were all shocked. They didn't know what happened, and even the palace collapsed in an instant. Oh my god, what happened? It seems that fourth young master is a loser. It seems that dual pupils has been lost. How sad. There is no other way. Who gave the third young master a space god body? If he gets dual pupils, he will be even more powerful. The fourth young master's fate has already been doomed. Who says it's not the case? I've become accustomed to it a long time ago. Yi Kong didn't have time to pay attention to the comments of his servants. He couldn't wait to rush into the nether fire, took out a pair of Yi Chen's dual pupils, and after carefully inspecting them, he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, dual pupils is very powerful and did not suffer much damage. It has no effect after refining. It only needs to be warmed for a period of time. After saying that, he quickly blended the dual pupils into his eyes to avoid long nights and dreams. With the cultivation of transcending tribulation realm, it was completely refined in a moment. The eyes shot out endless light, instantly tearing apart a large amount of space. The terrifying aura spread throughout Baelyang City, and a large number of monks worshipped him. Don't want. Murong Shui's body became staggering. She had just promised to protect Yi Chen, but in the blink of an eye, things had turned into what they were now. Now that Yi Kong has completely refined the dual pupils, if he digs it out again, it will definitely damage the Dao foundation and cause his cultivation level to drop. The palms and backs of the hands were full of flesh. I didn't know how to deal with it. Suddenly, everything was in chaos. I couldn't help spitting out a mouthful of blood. My breath became disordered, and I had a tendency to go crazy. Yi Kuang was startled when he saw this, and rushed to Murong Shui's side, sending power into her body to stabilize the rampant spiritual power in her body. Madam, don't get excited. There is no need to be like this for a waste. Dual pupils will play a greater role on Konger. Murong Shui felt very sad when she heard this, and finally understood why Yi Chen looked at her and others with endless resentment. My father doesn't love me, and my mother doesn't love me. His 3 brothers also deprived him of everything he owned. Who else can bear it? Thinking of this, Murong Shui was even more heartbroken, and she spit out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Yi Kuang was afraid that something might happen, so he quickly took Murong Shui away and looked for a hidden place to heal his injuries, otherwise there would be no sequelae. At this time, Yi Chen sat helplessly on the ground. After losing the dual pupils, his eyes continued to bleed, and he could barely rely on his spiritual sense to sense everything around him. What's worse is that his cultivation level continues to decline, and it doesn't stop until he reaches the third layer of the body-tempering realm. He even loses almost all his spiritual thoughts and becomes a pitiful blind man. It still failed. Yi Chen's voice revealed sadness. He originally wanted to try his hand at turning a bicycle into a motorcycle, but he underestimated the strength of Yi Kuang and others and stopped himself from destroying dual pupils. Now if you want to activate the system, there is only the second option left, which is to complete the first kill. But according to the current situation, it is really not easy to kill someone. You can't let others stick their necks out and let you kill them. After Yi Kong briefly familiarized himself with dual pupils' abilities, he set his sights on Yi Chen. His expression darkened when he thought of the other party's previous actions. His mother, who usually loves him, turned against his father and wanted to stop them from poaching Yi Chen's dual pupils. Especially the opponent's crazy move to destroy the invincible dual pupils made him feel a little scared until now. As he thought about it, murderous intent emerged unconsciously, and he wished he could kill Yi Chen in front of him to relieve the hatred in his heart. However, brothers killing each other was taboo at all times, and the impact would be too great if word spread, so I had to forcibly restrain my inner impulses. But he was really unwilling to let Yi Chen go like this. After thinking for a long time, he finally came up with a way to get the best of both worlds, and then he said solemnly. Mother is so angry that she vomited blood. Today I will destroy your cultivation for my brother, so that you will learn a lesson and avoid causing trouble in the future. The words just fell. Yi Kong unleashed several strands of spiritual power, which penetrated into Yi Chen's body and destroyed Yi Chen's meridians and dantian, completely turning him into a useless person without the power to restrain a chicken. After doing all this, he called several servants of the Yi family, showed a meaningful smile, and gave instructions. Take good care of your fourth young master in the future. After all, he is a disabled person now. He is so pitiful. Take him to have a good rest. Now that Yi Chen has become a useless person, his status in the Yi family will probably be worse than that of a dog in the future, so there is no need to kill him. Maybe life is more uncomfortable than death, right? Don't worry, third young master, my subordinates will make good arrangements for fourth master to prevent him from suffering any grievances, hee. Several servants immediately understood and patted their chests to assure themselves, and then drove Yi Chen away. You can imagine what will happen next. Yi Kong smiled with satisfaction. With the space divine body and the invincible dual pupils, future achievements are limitless. I believe the Yi family's servants know what to do. Then it turned into a stream of light and flew away. It has just been integrated with dual pupils. It needs some time to adjust and slowly comprehend the secret of divine ability, so that it can exert more powerful power in the future. At this time, Yi Chen was in a very embarrassed state. His cultivation was ruined, and his eyes were bleeding continuously. If his will was not still strong, he would probably faint to death. The system is so big. Can't you take pity on me? I'm going to die if this continues. How can we talk about being invincible in this world? How about we discuss it and release the rewards in advance, and then I can destroy the entire Yi family to compensate, okay? I was cursing God in my heart for being unfair. Whose transmigrator appeared in such a miserable way? It was simply outrageous. Everything has to be done by yourself. This system believes that you can do it. You can't destroy dual pupils. There is no other choice. It will definitely not be difficult to complete the first kill. I believe you will understand the reason soon. I understand, you big-headed devil. I don't have any cultivation skills now. Who the hell am I going to kill? Yi Chen almost fainted from anger. He was in such a miserable state and the system still didn't help him. What a cheat. Several servants heard Yi Chen's thoughts and looked at each other in confusion. What kind of system and rewards were really confusing? A waste without cultivation. What do you mean by wanting to be invincible in the world? Are you clamoring to destroy the Yi family? To kill someone? Several people showed pity in their eyes, wondering if the young master in front of them was crazy. Fourth young master, stop having such wishful thinking. If you want to survive, just do hard work honestly. If the third young master is happy, maybe he can let you go. Yi Chen was not well liked before, and many servants were willing to bully him. Now that he has lost all his cultivation, he will surely end up even more miserable in the future. Several people forcibly took Yi Chen to a place in the outer courtyard and threw him in without ceremony, with mocking looks on their faces. Fourth young master, the Yi family does not raise idle people, so the task of feeding the horses will be left to you. Don't say that we don't take care of you. If you are blind, be careful and don't get kicked to death by the horse. Facing the words of several people, Yi Chen clenched his fists after hearing the words. The tiger falls in Pingyang and is bullied by the dog. Long Yu Shoal was tricked by shrimps. It was so miserable that the servants in the outer courtyard could humiliate him at will. He couldn't help but punch the ground. Ding! Congratulations to the host for trampling an ant to death, completing the first kill, activating the Supreme Killing God system, and obtaining the following rewards. Killing Divine Body, Rebirth through Blood. The more you kill or receive damage, the stronger the amplification power will be. It has powerful self-healing ability. It can be reborn through blood during the Great Accomplishment. The realm is upgraded 10 levels in a row. A Saint Cultivation Experience card. Cultivation is temporarily elevated to the Saint realm, maintained for 3 hours, with unlimited power. Integrate the Killing God Body, repair the broken meridians and dantian of the host, and return to the first layer of the body tempering realm. The realm has been upgraded 10 levels in a row, reaching the second layer of the spiritual sea realm. F***K, is this okay? The reversal was so big that Yi Chen was stunned for a long time and couldn't believe it. Trampling an ant to death is considered the first kill. No wonder the system says it's not difficult at all. Such is the feeling. It's finally time to stand up. With the system in hand, I own the world. Chapter 4: The Immortal Demonic Eyes of Reincarnation. Several servants looked at each other. Yi Chen sometimes talked nonsense, and now he laughed maniacally. He must have a mental problem. At the same time, many melon-eating people came to watch and pointed out, lamenting that the proud man of heaven had fallen into his current fate. Poor kid, it seems he couldn't bear the blow and went crazy. With the loss of dual pupils and the loss of cultivation, anyone can bully him. You can imagine the following days. What's more, the third young master has spoken, asking us to take good care of the fourth young master, Yi Chen may still be able to compete with them before his cultivation is broken. Now they are just fish on the chopping board, ready to be slaughtered. Host, Yi Chen. Cultivation, Linghai second layer. Physique, Killing God Body, Bloody Rebirth. The more you kill or receive damage, the stronger the amplification power, has strong self-healing ability. You can achieve blood rebirth during the Great Accomplishment. Bloodline, none yet. Exercise, none. Weapon, none. Divine ability, none. Item, Saint Experience card ×1. Looking at the attribute panel, Yi Chen smiled even more wildly. With the Saint Experience card, how could he endure it? Just at this time, several young boys came over. Fourth young master, there's no point in pretending to be crazy. Now that you're here, work hard, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. They usually work at the lowest grade in the Yi family, and they have accumulated a lot of resentment in their hearts, ready to unleash it on the good-for-nothing young master in front of them. A bunch of B*************, they really shame you. Yi Chen stood up abruptly, his whole body exuding terrifying murderous intent. Even if he lost his eyes, his momentum remained unabated. But a few of the naughty boys didn't care at all, and even started to ridicule him. A blind man who has lost his cultivation still thinks of himself as the young master of the Yi family. If you don't obey me, I'll teach you a lesson. As long as I don't kill you, nothing will happen. No one will care about you. Ha. Even the servants who were watching nearby laughed unbridledly, not believing that Yi Chen could cause any trouble. The host obtains a mission and kills 5 arrogant little boys. The mission reward is the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye, a 3-level upgrade in Realm, and a Holy King Experience Card X1. A dog will always be a dog. Even if its owner dares to bite him, what's the use of keeping you here? The corner of Yi Chen's mouth raised slightly. He didn't expect the mission to come in such a timely manner. With the help of his spiritual perception, he decisively rushed towards those ugly boys. What? The young man was stunned. He didn't know where Yi Chen had the courage to attack him and others after losing his cultivation, so he was ready to teach him a lesson. Little did they know that Yi Luyun had recovered his cultivation and reached the 2nd layer of the Spirit Sea realm. It was not a problem at all to deal with a few guys in the body-tempering realm. The next second, he came in front of 2 ugly boys, and under the shocked eyes of everyone, he broke their necks and threw them aside casually. After killing 2 people, he activated the Killing Divine Body, his overall strength increased by 30%, and he was surrounded by terrifying murderous intent. Master, please spare your life, we know we were wrong. The 3 surviving young men were frightened. Yi Chen could instantly kill 2 of their companions, how could he completely destroy his cultivation? I really don't know who spread the news. It's going to kill them. If you know your mistakes, correct them. There is no greater good. Yi Chen smiled and nodded, but he had no intention of letting these people go. He raised his hand and slapped their heads. In an instant, all 5 of them were dead. All the people watching were stunned. Well, what's going on? Many of us have seen with our own eyes that the 3rd young master has destroyed his meridians and dantian. Why is this happening? Many people are very puzzled and cannot understand how Yi Chen's cultivation suddenly recovered and became so brutal, killing 5 people without blinking an eye. The only explanation is that Yi Chen has no eyes now, so he can't blink. The host completes the task and is rewarded with the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye, a 3-level upgrade, and a Holy King Experience Card X1. Reincarnation Immortal Demon Eyes. The eyes evolve into 6 reincarnations, and hundreds of millions of immortals and demons evolve within them. Life and death can be reversed in a single thought. 3rd layer of the Spirit Sea Realm. Spirit Sea Realm 4th layer. Spirit Sea Realm 5th layer. In the blink of an eye, his cultivation level has improved by 3 realms, as well as the bonus of the Slaughter God body, and his overall strength has increased 2 or 3 times. Even if he encounters the condensation realm, Yi Chen is confident to fight. The fusion of the Samsara Immortal and Demon Eyes is successful. Yi Chen's body trembled suddenly, an invisible force emerged from his body, his eyes slowly opened, and 2 dazzling lights shot out. The power of immortals and demons intertwined and evolved into a terrifying phenomenon. Half of the immortal energy was lingering, like a fairyland, and the other half was filled with demonic energy, full of eerie and terrifying atmosphere. Intertwined with each other, there seemed to be various creatures looming among them, either dancing gracefully, fighting fiercely, or enjoying themselves leisurely. The creatures have different shapes, some are as huge as mountains, while others are as small and exquisite as ants, but without exception, they all exude an astonishing aura. Oh my God, the 4th young master's eyes have grown back, and he has such terrifying visions. It's really unbelievable. The servants who were watching were all shocked and did not dare to look directly into Yi Chen's eyes, for fear of sinking into them and unable to extricate themselves. With a thought in Yi Chen's mind, the terrifying vision of heaven and earth immediately dissipated. Looking at the many servants in front of him, he suddenly felt murderous intentions. It's your turn next. Don't you all think that I am easy to bully? Today I will let you know what a gentleman's revenge is. It is not too late in 10 years. Basically, everyone has bullied themselves, and they just refused to do anything and killed them all, just to vent their anger. Everyone's expressions changed when they heard this, and they felt that Yi Chen seemed to have changed a lot in a short period of time. His whole body was full of mystery and was unpredictable. Humph, do you really think that if you kill a few horse breeders, you won't take us seriously? Of course, some people showed disdain. The little boy was the lowest grade member of the Yi family. His cultivation level was only in the body tempering realm. Being able to kill Yi Chen was nothing. There were very few people in the body-tempering realm present. They were basically people from the spiritual Sea realm and the condensing Yuan realm, and there were even innate realm masters. The Yi family is so famous that it attracts many powerful people to serve, but those with higher realms just don't bother to come here. It was not that easy for Yi Chen to kill them. Then give it a try. Yi Chen's whole body was filled with murderous intent. Without saying a word, he rushed into the crowd, killed a body-tempering realm servant in an instant, and pulled out his head. The bloody methods shocked many people. The fourth young master is crazy. Go and report it to the third young master and the law enforcement hall. Otherwise, it will cause even greater trouble later. Many servants were sweating on their foreheads. They didn't expect that Yi Chen was really desperate and killed another person in the blink of an eye. No matter what, the other party still bears the name of the young master. As servants, they naturally can't really kill him. The few guys in the condensing realm could only try to subdue Yi Chen and leave it to the senior Yi family to deal with it. Yi Chen kept dodging several condensation realm attacks, during which he seized the opportunity to kill several people. Reborn from the blood, the killing divine body is indeed a physique born for killing. With its strength constantly improving, it can compete with several people in the condensation realm. Detect the host's strong murderous intent and obtain a limited time mission. Within an hour, kill 30 people to advance to 1 level, kill 50 people to advance to 2 levels, and kill 100 people to advance to 3 levels. Kill 100 people within the specified time to get additional rewards. Supreme level body skills can travel all over the world. Then let's kill him. Yi Chen laughed out loud when he heard the system prompts, and finally understood how outrageous the supreme killing god system was. It's really just one word: kill, 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 and keep getting stronger in the killing. Chapter 5 God travels all realms. Fourth young master, enough is enough. You have killed so many people. If the prince blames you, I'm afraid you can't afford it. The only innate realm master in the field stood up, and his powerful spiritual power suddenly exploded, knocking Yi Chen back 5 or 6 meters, with a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. Originally, he was not prepared to interfere with the affairs between Yi Chen and many servants, but the former was too cruel and killed more than 10 people in succession. What qualifications do you have to care about me? What qualifications does your so-called prince have to control me? I don't have such a father, so you don't need to call me young master. Yi Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stared at the person in front of him, his eyes filled with bloodthirsty, and the killing intent around him almost condensed into substance. The surrounding servants looked in disbelief. They could not imagine that Yi Chen would dare to be so rebellious and even deny his own father. Crazy, completely crazy, someone muttered to himself. Master Wang Yun, take down the fourth young master first, otherwise we will be the ones who suffer, a servant shouted anxiously. Yi Chen's current strength is comparable to that of the condensing Yuan realm, and ordinary servants are no match for him. Everyone could only place their hopes on this master of the innate realm, hoping that he could capture Yi Chen as soon as possible to prevent more people from being harmed. Good. The innate realm master nodded when he heard this, feeling that it would not be difficult for him to take down Yi Chen. The spiritual power in his body gathered on his fist and attacked Yi Chen. Powerful power continued to flow. Humph, I will remember you. Yi Chen snorted coldly, knowing that his current strength could not compete with innate realm, so naturally he would not choose to fight head-on. He dodged Wang Yun's attack and rushed towards other servants. The most important thing was to complete the time-limited task issued by the system. After a while, he killed more than a dozen people and snatched a long knife. Under the influence of the killing body, his eyes became bloody and his strength was more than doubled. Wang Yun was very helpless. Yi Chen didn't want to fight with him head-on. Even with his innate realm cultivation, there was nothing he could do against him. It seems that the fourth young master is possessed by a demon. His strength is constantly improving. If you want to survive, don't reserve your strength and work together to defeat the opponent. In order to save their lives, many servants all used their special skills to slow down Yi Chen's killing pace. Otherwise, if this continued, they would probably be the ones who died. Wang Yun, who had been looking for an opportunity, took action. While Yi Chen was not paying attention, he suddenly launched a sneak attack, turned his palm into a claw, and grabbed Yi Chen's left shoulder fiercely. It easily penetrated the skin and muscles, leaving 5 deep blood holes, and blood flowed out gurglingly. Then he squeezed hard and crushed the bones on Yi Chen's left shoulder. Crack! A clear voice sounded, and accompanied by severe pain, Yi Chen's face instantly turned pale. However, there was no intention of flinching. He endured the severe pain in his body and once again burst out with all his strength, waving the long knife in his hand and slashing at Wang Yun fiercely. There was a firm light in his eyes, determined to make Wang Yun pay a heavy price. Not good. Wang Yun's expression changed drastically, and he couldn't help but feel a strong sense of crisis in his heart, realizing that he might have underestimated Yi Chen's strength. A few hundred spiritual stones a month, why would you fight for it? Thinking of this, he quickly withdrew his palm. He didn't want to lose the 5th girl. Otherwise, who would accompany him in the empty and lonely night? Of course, Yi Chen would not let go of this perfect opportunity. He ignored the attacks of others and slashed at Wang Yun with his sword, cutting off 3 of Wang Yun's fingers. However, he suffered heavy injuries. 5 or 6 people's attacks fell on him at the same time. His whole body was thrown away, and blood continued to spurt out of his mouth. Ah, little b******************, D, I'm going to kill you. Wang Yun's face was twisted because of the severe pain. Looking at the bloody hand, he instantly lost his mind and fell into a crazy state of rage. Broken Mountain Palm. A powerful spiritual power quickly gathered on his palm, and he slapped Yi Chen furiously. The power of this palm was astonishing, and even the surrounding air made a sharp sonic boom sound. One can imagine the terrifying power contained in it. Master Wang Yun, calm down. If we kill the 4th young master, I'm afraid the prince will let us be buried with him. The hearts of many servants instantly became tense. Even if Yi Chen was a useless person, he was still Yi Kuang's son. It's okay to bully in normal times, no one will make the decision for you. But if he died in their hands, all 9 tribes might be wiped out, and no one was willing to bear the consequences. If you die, you will die. What are you afraid of? I will bear the consequences. It has nothing to do with you. Anger overwhelmed Wang Yun, who could not listen to other people's advice and insisted on killing Yi Chen. Yi Chen refused to dodge, his eyes revealed bloodthirsty, and he resisted Wang Yun's full-force palm. He suddenly felt that his internal organs were about to burst, and blood spurted out on the opponent's face. Oh my God, we're all crazy. If the 4th young master dies, I'm afraid our end will be miserable. Dozens of servants trembled and hurriedly came over to check, fearing that if Yi Chen was good or bad, they would be the unlucky ones. As soon as everyone got closer, they immediately noticed something was wrong. They saw a small tip of a knife appearing behind Wang Yun, and blood was slowly flowing down. You couldn't tell it unless you looked carefully. Huh, innate realm is nothing more than that, it's not like he died in my hands. At this moment, Yi Chen looked up to the sky and laughed, and kicked Wang Yun away in front of him. Just now, with desperate ferocity, he resisted the other party's full blow and took the opportunity to insert the long knife into his heart. It can be said that it hurts the enemy 1,000 times and damages oneself 800. Fortunately, Wang Yun, the innate realm master, was eliminated, so the remaining people had nothing to fear. Oh my God, Master Wang Yun is dead. Everyone was shocked, and even the timid one was so frightened that his mind went blank. Master Wang Yun is a strong man of innate realm 4th layer, how could he die in the hands of a loser? Some people shook their heads crazily, unwilling to believe that the scene in front of them was real. It was really unbelievable. You're a piece of trash, why don't you run away? Yi Chen even killed the innate realm strongman, and some people said he was a waste, which really put a hole in his mind. If you don't run away now, when will you wait? Dozens of servants fled quickly, after all, no one wanted to die. Kill. 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 The successive heavy injuries and the continuous killings greatly aroused the murderous body, and his heart was filled with terrible bloodthirsty, and his sanity was affected to some extent. However, the power within the body became more powerful, reaching the level of innate realm, and started massacring the remaining people, with blood staining the ground red. Killed 30 people in total. Killed 50 people in total. Very few escaped. Not enough. Yi Chen murmured to himself and continued to chase the fleeing people, killing everyone in his way without mercy at all. The sky-high murderous intent and a large amount of evil energy surrounded him, like a murderous god walking around the world. Many people hid when they encountered him, not daring to face Yi Chen at all. The host completes the mission, kills 100 people in total, and is rewarded with supreme-level body skills that can travel through all realms, and the realm has been upgraded 3 levels in a row. Shen Xian Wan Jia, a secret technique created by the Supreme Master. In the early stage, the power of wind and thunder was used, which can be said to be the fastest in the world. Later, using the power of space, it is easy to travel through all realms. Spirit Sea Realm 6th Layer. Spirit Sea Realm 7th Layer. Spirit Sea Realm 8th Layer. Chapter 6, Crazy Killing. Tongzi, I love you so much. Yi Chen was extremely excited. In just a short period of time, the system transformed him from a useless person to the 8th layer of the spiritual sea realm. The upgrade speed was the same as riding a rocket. The divine slaughter body, the immortal demonic eyes of reincarnation, and the supreme level movement techniques are all heaven-defying to the extreme, no worse than what he once had. It would be even more perfect if he could obtain the cultivation techniques again, and his strength would improve faster by then. In fact, the technique he originally practiced was quasi-emperor grade, but Yi Chen didn't want to have anything to do with the Yi family anymore, so he would rather put it off than practice it. The system detects the host's intention and obtains a new mission, a complete break with the family, rewarded with the god-level skill of killing Heavenly Demon, a 3-level realm upgrade, and a Holy Emperor experience card X1. Obtain a limited-time mission. For every 3 Yi family members killed, you will receive a Guyuan pill. Huh, the system is awesome. A smile appeared on the corner of Yi Chen's mouth. He really thought what he wanted. He had originally planned to cause trouble in the Yi family, kill Yi Kong and take back his dual pupils. I didn't expect the system to be so considerate and immediately issue tasks to myself, along with generous rewards. It was really awesome. Yi Chen, are you crazy? You killed hundreds of people from the Yi family, do you know what the consequences will be? Kneel down and admit your mistake now, maybe it can save you from the physical pain. Did you hear that? At this moment, hundreds of people surrounded Yi Chen. They were all members of the law enforcement hall. Most of them were members of the side tribesmen with poor talents and mediocre cultivation, as well as some recruited monks. Normally, he maintains the stability of the family and manages countless people inside and outside the palace. Now seeing Yi Chen being so frantic, he almost fainted from anger. Such behavior is a blatant contempt for the majesty of their law enforcement hall, which no one can stand. If it were Yi Chen's 3 brothers, the law enforcement hall would never say anything, but the former is a waste and the treatment will definitely be different. As long as he didn't die, there would be no problem. They had already figured out how to torture Yi Chen. Huh, a bunch of rubbish. Yi Chen sneered and killed them with a knife. In the blink of an eye, 2 guys' heads fell to the ground. The people who came were all ordinary people from the law enforcement hall. Their cultivations were generally in the condensation realm and innate realm. A strong man from the sky control realm led the team, so there was nothing to be afraid of. You are bold and dare to kill the disciples of the law enforcement hall. You will not be spared today. You must be brought back and put on trial. The leader of the Sky Control Realm expert's face turned red with anger. He didn't expect Yi Chen to be so rampant and kill 2 Yuan Ning Yuan disciples when he came up. He really didn't take himself seriously. The aura of the Sky Control Realm burst out and flew to the sky in a blink of an eye, condensing a few palm prints and hitting Yi Chen. Yi Chen narrowed his eyes, knowing that with his current strength, he would have no problem dealing with the innate realm. However, there is still a lot of gap between him and the strong ones in the Sky Control Realm, so he decisively used the secret technique of the Divine Movement World, Wind Shadow. With the help of the wind attribute power between heaven and earth, the speed is instantly increased several times, and he shuttles between the disciples of the law enforcement hall, constantly harvesting their lives. Demon. Help. Damn it, let's work together to destroy Yi Chen. The disciples of the law enforcement hall were furious. In a short time, more than 30 people died in Yi Chen's hands, which was a heavy loss. Wuyue hammer, thunder palm, Ame sword, thunder kick, thunder fist, shadowless kick. The remaining people no longer held back and launched a siege on Yi Chen. Various divine abilities emerged one after another, and the spiritual power was shaking endlessly. The leader of the Sky Control Realm expert unleashed his spiritual thoughts with all his strength, trying to find an opportunity to severely injure Yi Chen and attack his opponent's arrogance. Escape from the strong wind. Yi Chen had already seen the situation on the battlefield, and without giving the enemy any chance, no attack would be able to hit him. However, there are strong men in the Sky Control Realm standing guard. If you want to kill the people in the law enforcement hall, you must be careful, otherwise you may be caught. After careful consideration, he used another secret technique in the world of divine movement, making it almost impossible for others to capture his figure. Behind the screams, it represents the death of each disciple of the law enforcement hall. Currently, there are less than 30 disciples left in the field. No, we must call for help, otherwise the whole army is likely to be destroyed. The leader of the strong men in the Sky Control Realm secretly thought that something was wrong. He quickly took out the communication token and prepared to summon more strong men to come, otherwise these people under him would die. Go to hell. Taking advantage of this person's distraction, Yi Chen mobilized the wind attribute power between heaven and earth, and condensed blue wings to soar into the sky. The long knife in his hand flashed with a faint blood light, and its explosive power was comparable to that of a strong person in the air control realm. The opponent had no time to react before his chest was penetrated. Tick-tock. The sound of blood dripping scared the survivors of the law enforcement hall and looked at Yi Chen in disbelief. Can a useless person kill a strong person in the air control realm? Then aren't they worse than trash? How is that possible? The eyes of that strong man in the Sky Control Realm were full of unwillingness. Yi Luyun was obviously in the Linghai realm, but he actually crossed several realms to kill him. It was really unbelievable. If you had known this earlier, why would you bother to provoke him? It's great to be the boss of the law enforcement hall, but after you die, you will have nothing, not to mention the regrets in your heart. After this strong man in the Sky Control Realm died, Yi Chen no longer had any scruples, and started killing with all his strength, killing all the remaining people in the blink of an eye. Under the baptism of the blood of hundreds of people, the killing god's body increased its power infinitely, and its combat power surpassed that of ordinary air-controlling realms. Yi Chen just walked and killed like this. The outer courtyard was where the servants lived. There were almost no monks who were too strong. The sky-controlling realm was the limit. He has no mercy at all. These guys have bullied him to some extent in the past, and today is their retribution. Kill crazy. The fourth young master is possessed by a demon and has killed hundreds of people one after another. The servants of the Yi family were frightened. If they didn't send some strong men who could stand up to the challenge, Yi Chen would probably be able to kill the entire outer courtyard. At the critical moment, a figure flew out of the inner courtyard. He was shocked to see the tragic situation in the outer courtyard. Especially when he saw that the culprit was Yi Chen, he couldn't believe it was true. Deacon Li Hua, help me, the fourth young master wants to kill us all. If no one cares about us, we will all be doomed. Many servants seemed to be grasping at straws and kept calling for help, hoping that the other party would quickly take action to suppress Yi Chen. Anyone who can become a deacon of the Yi family must at least have the cultivation level of the golden body realm, but Yi Chen's expression remained calm and he said calmly, I advise you to mind your own business, otherwise you will be the one waiting to die. It just so happened that he hadn't tried the power of the Samsara immortal demon eyes yet. If this person didn't know what to do, he wouldn't mind practicing with the opponent. Even if he can't be killed, it's not a big problem. There are Saint Experience cards and Saint King Experience cards. It's easy to destroy the entire Yi family, let alone a mere golden body realm monk. Chapter 7 Sacrificing 100 Years of Life. When Li Hua heard this, a trace of disdain appeared on his face, thinking that Yi Chen was just an insignificant ant. He shook his head slightly and raised his hand to grab Yi Chen. This grasp seems simple, but it contains endless mystery and terrifying power. In an instant, the power of the surrounding heaven and earth seemed to be attracted by an invisible force and converged into Li Hua's hand, forming a huge palm. Yi Chen felt a strong sense of crisis in his heart and tried to avoid the huge palm, but Li Hua didn't give him a chance. In the blink of an eye, the huge palm grabbed Yi Chen's body fiercely, and there was an unparalleled pressure, as if the whole world was pressing on him. Yi Chen's bones creaked, blood spilled from the corners of his mouth, his face was frighteningly pale, and the powerful force almost squeezed him into a ball of blood mist. Fortunately, the killing god body felt the fatal threat, and suddenly burst out with more powerful power, barely able to compete with the giant palm. "Thank you very much, Deacon Li Hua, for saving my life." The servants in the outer courtyard clapped their hands one after another, applauding that someone finally suppressed Yi Chen and solved their crisis. Li Soul Formation nodded calmly, not feeling anything at all. If he couldn't defeat Yi Chen with his own cultivation at the Golden Body Realm, wouldn't it be a shame to spread it out? I heard that the fourth young master has completely lost his cultivation. Now he can explode with such amazing power. He must have practiced some kind of magic skill. I will truthfully report the situation here to the prince later, and I will definitely punish the young master to death. You don't need to worry too much. He didn't even look at Yi Chen during the whole process. It's easy to imagine how unpopular he was in the Yi family. When a young master reaches this level, I'm afraid not many people can do it. Maid, if you are looking for death, I will send you on your way. After hearing what Li Hua said, the anger in Yi Chen's heart was completely ignited, and he lost control of his emotions instantly and entered a state of rage. That so-called father was even more hateful to him than his enemy. Thinking of this, Yi Chen activated the Samsara Immortal Demon Eyes without hesitation. In the blink of an eye, the spiritual power in his body was quickly sucked dry, and his eyes were filled with two extremely powerful forces. Even if he wanted to kill a strong man in the Golden Body Realm, it was still not enough, so Yi Chen resolutely sacrificed 100 years of longevity to enhance the power of the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye. With the sacrifice of Shou Yuan, the power bred by the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye became more and more terrifying, and Yi Chen himself was almost unable to suppress it. After a moment, two dazzling rays of light shot out, and the power of immortals and demons entangled and intertwined with each other, and the fusion produced an unprecedented powerful force. Li Hua's physical body was instantly beaten to pieces, and many cracks appeared in his soul. Even the Tao Foundation was greatly damaged. What? Seems scarier than dual pupils? Li Hua had a horrified expression on his face. At that moment, he felt infinitely close to death, leaving an indelible shadow in his heart. Pfft! At this moment, Yi Chen spat out a mouthful of blood and staggered to the point of losing his balance. He had burned 100 years of life and exhausted his spiritual power. He was very weak at this time. Li Hua breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this. It would be really outrageous if Yi Chen could survive such an explosion of amazing power. Yi Chen's oil has run out and his lamp has dried up. You should take action to suppress him quickly, otherwise you will be the ones who suffer when he recovers. Everyone looked at each other in shock after hearing this, and did not dare to step forward for a while, for fear that Yi Chen would kill someone again. Trash, get out of the way. Li Huaqi was almost speechless. He held on to his seriously injured body and slowly walked towards Yi Chen, preparing to seal the latter's cultivation to avoid any accidents happening later. Ahem, it seems this is my limit. Yi Chen was a little helpless. The Golden Body Realm cultivator was more powerful than he thought. Even though he sacrificed 100 years of life to stimulate the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye, he failed to kill him. It seems that I have to use my last trump card. The host consumes the Saint Experience card and randomly obtains Saint 4th Layer Cultivation for 3 hours. Boom! The terrifying holy power broke through the sky. Under this pressure, Li Hua, who was in the golden body, was completely destroyed on the spot, not even a scum was left. Fourth young master, please spare your life, we know we were wrong. Many of the servants were so brave that they trembled with fear. Even if they were beaten to death, they didn't even think that Yi Chen had the cultivation level of a saint. He was hiding it too deeply. Even if you have such strength, you still pretend to be weak? Do you still have to endure their oppression? Pure toying mentality. Yi Chen didn't have a chance, so he ducked into the sky and destroyed the outer courtyard of Ye's family with a wave of his hand, including more than 1,000 servants. The wailing and begging for mercy continued one after another, and no one was spared. Under the saints, they were all ants, and the performance was vivid and vivid. The huge movement shocked the entire Bailiang city, and countless eyes gathered over and started talking curiously. Is there a new saint in the Yi family? It's possible, after all, the Yi family has a deep foundation. Countless people looked envious. Today, the Yi family is so powerful that they are famous even in the entire human sovereign world. The Holy Emperor of the Yi family is in the 9th layer realm. Yi Kuang Holy Emperor 6th layer realm. Murong Snow Saint King 5th layer realm. The 4 sons are 3 outstanding men. The eldest and second son are both in the semi-saint realm, and the third son has reached the transcending tribulation realm. They are powerful and terrifying. The youngest son was originally the most evil one, but because of jealousy, he lost his talent for cultivation and became a waste, otherwise his potential would be immeasurable. Now that there is another saint, it really makes people envious, jealous, and hateful. Someone sensed something was wrong. No, this person's aura contains murderous intent. Maybe something happened to the Yi family. Do you want to go and see? I still want to wait for a while. A strong man shrugged and refused the proposal without thinking. Someone next to him echoed, "That's right, no matter what happens, it has nothing to do with us, just stay there." Whoever dares to join in the fun of the Yi family's affairs may have his or her life in question. It's not too late to join in the fun after the incident. Boom, boom. At this time, the ground began to tremble, and a large number of war horses entered the city. Sitting there were the black-armored troops, almost tens of thousands of them. After they sensed that something had happened to the Yi family, they rushed over without stopping, wanting to see who dared to be so arrogant and cause trouble in Bailiang City. They were simply seeking death. All the black-armored army members are brave and good at fighting. They have experienced hundreds of thousands of battles, large and small, and the weakest ones have innate realm cultivation. Yi Kuang has an army of millions. You can imagine how huge his power is. The Liang royal family is not without reason to be afraid. The black-armored army rushed to Ye's house in a mighty manner, and passers-by gave way, fearing that they would be killed if they were slower. A strong saint? Yi Kong, who was in retreat to get familiar with dual pupils, was awakened from deep cultivation, and the transcending tribulation realm spiritual thoughts covered the entire Yi family. Yi Chen? Isn't his cultivation useless? Why did he suddenly become a saint and a strong man? You must know that he did it himself, there is absolutely no possibility of any deviation. Unexpectedly, in less than 2 hours, the other party turned into a saint. There must be some unknown secret in the process. If nothing unexpected happened, Yi Chen would definitely come to seek revenge. To be on the safe side, he quickly took out the summons token and informed his father Yi Kuang. Otherwise, with his transcending tribulation realm cultivation, it would be very dangerous to face Yi Chen alone. Chapter 8 Killing the Heavenly Demon Kung Fu. How is that possible? After Yi Kuang received the news, his expression became solemn. Looking at Murong Shui who was still unconscious, he didn't know what to do for a moment. On the other hand, there is the beloved wife. If she gives up sending power to heal her wounds, she is very likely to become possessed and even fall into a state of decline. On the other side, he is optimistic about his third son Yi Kong. If Yi Chen really becomes a saint and a strong man, it may threaten the former's life. Currently, in order to impact the quasi-emperor realm, the old man of the Yi family has been out wandering the secret realm for hundreds of years, and it is impossible to come back in a short time. After much deliberation, Yi Kong could only let Yi Kong hide temporarily and wait until Murong Shui gets better. When Yi Kong received the reply, his expression became very ugly. Not long ago, he had forcibly taken away Yi Chen's dual pupils. Who would have thought that the situation would reverse so quickly? However, for the sake of his own life, he still used various space secrets to hide his body shape, and used dual pupils to cover his entire aura. Yi Kong's previous position instantly became empty, and all traces were lost. I believe that even the saint would not be able to find it in person. Huh? Disappeared? At this time, Yi Chen frowned slightly. He had noticed Yi Kong's weak breath just now, but it suddenly disappeared for some reason. The strong saint condenses the primordial spirit, transforms his spiritual thoughts into divine consciousness, and can cover a range of 100,000 miles. But no matter how he searched, he could not find any trace of Yi Kong, and Yi Kuang and Murong Shui seemed to be hiding. Thinking of this, Yi Chen became extremely angry. Yi Kong, why are you hiding like a turtle? Get out of here if you can. You will definitely pay a heavy price for seizing my dual pupils today. The voice almost spread throughout Bailiang City, but unfortunately there was no response, not even a strange fluctuation. Yi Chen was a little reluctant. The Saint Cultivation Experience card could only last for 3 hours. If he couldn't find it, he might have no choice but to leave. Yi Kuang, Murong Shui, listen carefully. Today, I, Yi Chen, will completely sever ties with you. From now on, the affairs of the Yi family have nothing to do with me. And your 3 sons, who you are so proud of, all deprived me of my talents to achieve their own lives. Sooner or later, I will take back everything I lose. The suffering and torture they endured will be repaid 1,000,000 times. To tell you the truth, my saint cultivation can only last for 3 hours. If you don't come out and I leave, I won't have such a good chance to kill me in the future. Ha ha ha. There is endless sadness in the laughter, madly venting the dissatisfaction in the heart, and the remaining obsession of the original body slowly dissipates. The host completes the task of completely breaking away from the family, and is rewarded with the god-level skill of killing the heavenly demon skill. The realm is upgraded to 3 levels in a row, and the Holy Emperor experience card ×1. Complete the limited time mission, kill a total of 1,500 people, and be rewarded with 500 solid yuan dan. Heavenly Demon Killing Skill, use killing to feed killing, killing without end, and plundering part of the enemy's cultivation base and longevity. Gu Yuan Dan, increases spiritual power, stabilizes Dao Foundation, and is effective in shattering Void Realm. Spirit Sea Realm 9th Layer. Condensing Yuan Realm 1st Layer. Condensing Yuan Realm 2nd Layer. Yi Chen currently has the cultivation level of a saint, so he doesn't feel much improvement in his realm, but the Holy Emperor experience card is different. With this thing, it may be easy to destroy the Yi family. No matter what happens today, Yi Kong must die, even the Heavenly King can't save him. There is also the Heavenly Demon skill, a god-level skill. Yi Chen is very curious about how to plunder the enemy's cultivation and longevity, and he will definitely try it out later. Little did he know that his words just now caused a storm in Bailiang City. It seems to be Yi Chen, the 4th son of King Bailiang. It is said that there is a person with the appearance of a monster. Unfortunately, heaven does not allow such a person to exist. 81 Thunder Tribulation was sent down to destroy this child. Human Sovereign Bloodline, Supreme Sword Bone, and Invincible Dual Pupils have 3 heaven-defying physiques. It's a pity that they all fulfilled others. No wonder you want to betray the Yi family. No one else can bear it. From what he said, he must have had another adventure, otherwise there would be no way he would have made such a big fuss. Countless people discussed it and probably figured out the whole story. That was Yi Chen, the 4th son of the Yi family, who for some reason had a saint-level cultivation for a short period of time. Perhaps out of guilt, the Prince of Northern Liang and his wife did not dare to come out to meet each other, allowing Yi Chen to vent his emotions unscrupulously. What's even more awesome is that Yi Chen wants to sever ties with the Yi family. Now the entire Bailiang City knows about it, and I believe it will spread throughout the human sovereign world soon. It will definitely cause a huge sensation. The headlines in the human sovereign world certainly read this. The 4th son of the Yi family in Bailiang, suffered endless injustice, obtained heaven-defying means, and temporarily raised his cultivation level to the level of a saint, causing great trouble in the entire family. He even ran away from the family at all costs. What a hot-tempered man. I believe that once this incident comes out, the Yi family of Bailiang will become the laughing stock of everyone. Everyone is curious about how Yi Kuang, king of Bailiang, plans to solve this matter. Sir, I must kill you. Yi Kuang, who met in the secret space, was trembling with anger. What happened today would definitely make him embarrassed, and he wanted to strangle Yi Chen to death. Chener, don't go. At this moment, Murong Shui murmured to himself, leaving a tear in the corner of his eye. Yi Kuang didn't care about anything else and quickly helped him sort out the power in his body. Fortunately, everything is developing in a good direction. Murong Shui's breath cultivation has returned to normal, and there is no danger of going crazy. In a few moments, he won't need to take care of himself anymore. When the time comes, he will definitely go out and kill Yi Chen, the traitor, so as not to embarrass himself in the future. At this time, Yi Chen tried his best to search for Yi Kuang's traces, but still found nothing, so he simply focused on others. With a wave of his big hand, dozens of people came over, and he killed them all with just one breath. Under the powerful spiritual consciousness, one can clearly see that the dead person's cultivation and vitality turned into countless invisible thin lines, quickly dissipating in the air. After running the heaven-swallowing demon technique by yourself, you can absorb part of the thin threads and refine the energy in them to replenish your lost lifespan and spiritual power. Excess energy will improve cultivation, temper the body, increase longevity, and other effects. I see, it is indeed a god-level skill. Yi Chen laughed loudly. The heavenly demon-killing technique was really unbelievable. If he continued like this, he would be able to gain endless longevity, and at the same time, he would be able to break through the realm as well. If you guys, Yi Kuang, don't come out, I will kill them all. Can you bear to watch all your subordinates and clan members die miserably? Saints in the realm have the ability to open up independent spaces. It is not so easy to find it. You can only force a few people out through the provocation method. As soon as he finished speaking, hundreds of people gathered again, and under the horrified eyes of others, they were squeezed into blood mist, frantically plundering the rapidly dissipating vitality in cultivation. The realm has broken through to the third layer of the condensing Yuan realm, and the lifespan has increased by more than 1,000 years, which is simply amazing. Chapter 9 The Ultimate Move equals a. The surviving Yi family members were trembling, and they all gathered in the ancestral hall, preparing to use the formations in it to resist Yi Chen. Yi Chen, this is the ancestral hall of the Yi family. You must not mess around. Bullying your master and destroying your ancestors is something that cannot be tolerated by heaven and earth. Everyone was praying that Yi Kuang and others would come out quickly, otherwise everyone in the Yi family would really be killed. I have severed ties with the Yi family. What does it have to do with bullying my master and destroying my ancestors? Yi Chen laughed. He had no sense of belonging to the Yi family at all, and the ancestral hall had no deterrent effect on him. As for the so-called incompatibility between heaven and earth, it is even more of a joke. When he was 9 years old, when he was originally in high spirits, heaven descended on him with a thunder tribulation, destroying his Tao foundation and changing the trajectory of his life. After calculating, the world could no longer accommodate him. In this case, it was better to fight a bloody path, and then looked up at the sky. It doesn't matter if heaven and earth don't allow it. One day I will go against my will. No one can control my destiny. Hiss. The Yi family members took a deep breath when they heard this. Damn it. Yi Chen, are you crazy? You have fallen into demon Tao. When your father comes out, we will let him clean up the house. It is useless no matter how much you say to a lunatic who dares to deceive his master and destroy his ancestors and does not respect the way of heaven. If you are not crazy or insane, you will not become an immortal. Killing gods and demons is the only way to live forever. Yi Chen laughed wildly, his eyes showing a determined look. So what if demon Tao or demon Tao? What we pursue is a person who can act spontaneously, be free and easy, and live for himself. Bang, bang, bang. Yi Chen unleashed all his strength and launched an attack on the Yi family ancestral hall. Suddenly the sky shook and a large number of buildings collapsed and turned into ruins. If you don't want to die, pour all your strength into the formation to stop Yi Chen, a lunatic, until the head of the family and others come out. The surviving Yi family members and the recruited monks, numbering in the thousands, poured in spiritual power without reservation to maintain the operation of the formation. The ancestral hall formation was arranged by the Saint Emperor. With enough energy, even the saints could not easily break through it. I believe it should be no problem to resist Yi Chen. Let's see how long you can last. Yi Chen had a look of disdain on his face. With the Saint Cultivation Experience card, the spiritual power can be used infinitely, and it can be restored instantly after consumption, which is equivalent to unlimited mana. I still have the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye, a great weapon, so it would be a waste not to make good use of it. Immortals and demons unite, kill. All the spiritual power in the body poured into his eyes, and fairy light and magic light spurted out, merging together and hitting the ancestral hall formation. Puff! Puff! With one blow, thousands of people suffered backlash, spitting out blood, and their aura dropped to an unknown extent, making them unable to maintain their peak combat power. Come on everyone, even if it burns for a long time, we have to withstand it, otherwise the formation will be destroyed, and we will still die. You should think about it for yourselves. The person with the highest cultivation level in the ancestral hall is a semi-saint strong man. At this time, he is trying his best to appease everyone's emotions so that he can keep the formation running later. That's right, Yi Chen will definitely not be able to use such a powerful attack a few times. Don't give up. People in the ancestral hall were wary of each other. After all, no one wanted to die in Yi Chen's hands. In comparison, burning longevity energy was better than dying. I'll let you know what despair means later. A sarcastic smile appeared on Yi Chen's lips. People's desire to survive is really strong, and they can really risk everything in a life-or-death crisis. It's a pity that the one I encountered today was me. He could amplify his moves infinitely in a short period of time, and the ancestral hall formation would never be able to withstand it. As he spoke, he activated the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye again, and the terrifying power rushed out, causing all other buildings except the ancestral hall to collapse. 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. Invisible cracks began to appear in the formation, and half of the thousands of people vomited blood and fell to the ground. Their lifespan was running out, and they looked very miserable. Everyone who was still standing had despairing expressions on their faces. Yi Chen was simply unbelievable. He used his divine ability 5 times in a row, but he didn't even show any signs of depression. Use your ultimate move as a flat A, unlimited mana recovery. It is not at all consistent with common sense. Saints are human beings after all, and their power is limited. Yi Chen just broke the rules, who wouldn't be disappointed? Now that the ancestral hall formation is slightly damaged, even if everyone fights for their lives, they will only have to block it 3 more times before reaching the limit. At this moment, the black armored army arrived and looked at the Yi family in disarray with an expression of disbelief. The majestic king of Northern Liang, the famous tyrant sword saint in the human sovereign world, someone dared to destroy his mansion. It was really outrageous. Looking at Yi Chen with murderous intent, the commander of the black armored army frowned slightly and asked doubtfully, "You seem to be the 4th young master, do you know who did all this?" When I came to Ye's house before, I met Yi Chen several times and had some impressions, but his condition seemed a little different. I'm not your young master, and everything here is done by me. If you don't want to die, get out immediately, or else just stay. Yi Chen shook his head, wondering if the guy in front of him was a fool. He couldn't tell even though the situation was so obvious. The commander of the black armored army was stunned when he heard this, and his brain could not react for a while. Space transfer. Yi Kong, who was hiding in the dark, couldn't stand it. He decisively used the secret technique of space to gather together tens of thousands of black armored troops in Yi Chen, and said angrily, "Commander Lu Er, I don't even know how you got into the position of commander. Why don't you quickly arrange a combined attack formation to take down this rebellious guy? The reason why the Black Armor Army is feared is because it has powerful means. Tens of thousands of people, under the leadership of a strong semi-saint, can form a peerless formation that can compete with a strong saint. Yi Kong believed that combined with his ability to comprehend various space secrets and dual pupils, he should be able to delay Yi Chen for a while. We can't let the Yi family ancestral hall be destroyed in one day. That would be a very serious matter. Yes, third young master. Lu Er finally reacted and immediately ordered his men to set up a combined attack formation. Tens of thousands of people gathered their strength and turned into a black-armored war god. Roaring towards the sky reveals endless divine power, and his aura is beyond that of ordinary saints and strong men. Most people are unable to resist. This is the trump card of the black-armored army. Chapter 10, 6 Paths of Reincarnation, Eternity Becomes Nothing. Interesting. Yi Chen smiled slightly when he saw this, and the Samsara immortal demon eyes spurted out terrifying power, instantly sending the black-armored god of war flying away. The space with a radius of tens of thousands of meters collapsed, and the terrifying force flattened the entire Yi family. It can be said that not a blade of grass can grow, and it is unknown how long it will take to fully recover. Resist me with all your strength, don't let the third young master get hurt, otherwise I won't be able to explain to the prince. The black-armored army was so loyal that they did not hesitate to burn their longevity. With the help of the combined attack formation, they blocked the remaining power of the Samsara immortal demon eye. The black-armored god of war stabilized his figure and flew back. A huge hammer appeared in his hand, and he took the opportunity to hit Yi Chen. The space continued to collapse, as if a natural disaster was coming. Ordinary people simply couldn't resist, and the huge movement made everyone in Bailiang City feel in danger, fearing that the fight between the two would affect themselves. Since you are all seeking death, I will help you. You can all stay here today, huh? Yi Chen soared into the sky, activating a large amount of power from heaven and earth. A huge moving shadow appeared behind him, and he grabbed the dropped hammer with both hands. Boom! The aftermath of the terrifying power swept away for an unknown distance, and the two sides were temporarily in a stalemate. Everyone in the Yi family was dumbfounded. Today's Yi Chen is too terrifying. If Yi Kuang or Murong Shui doesn't take action, no one will be able to defeat the other party. The system detects the murderous intention in the heart, obtains new characters, kills all the black-armored troops, and is rewarded with law weapon, 10,000 soul banners, realm upgrades to 3 levels in a row, and dragon blood pill times 100. Huh? Law weapon? Tongzi, did you make a mistake? Human sovereign world weapon levels, from low to high are law weapon, treasure weapon, spirit weapon, king weapon, sacred weapon, quasi-emperor weapon, imperial weapon, supreme weapon. Yi Chen's face was filled with disbelief that Wanhun banner, with such a great reputation, could actually be reduced to the status of law weapon. The 10,000 soul banner is an advanced divine weapon. After conquering countless powerful souls, you can continue to advance and become an immortal weapon or even a divine weapon in the future. The products produced by the system must be high-quality products, so don't worry about the host. It scared me, but that's pretty much it. Yi Chen breathed a sigh of relief. If the famous Wanhun banner in his previous life was only at the law weapon level, then he really couldn't accept it. After hearing the system's explanation, I instantly felt endless power. The Samsara immortal demon eyes flashed non-stop, and another burst of power that destroyed the world. The leader of the black-armored army exclaimed. Yi Chen's 2 consecutive bursts of such terrifying power were beyond his expectations. Brothers, burn some of your longevity energy to block the enemy's attack, otherwise the consequences will be disastrous. If you want to withstand the power of the Samsara immortal demon eyes now, you must burn more longevity. Otherwise, if the black-armored god of war cannot sustain it, more than half of the people may die. Fight it. Tens of thousands of black armors burned their longevity at any cost, and the majestic vitality poured into the body of the black-armored god of war like a tide, making his power continue to rise. Immediately, the hammer erupted with shocking power, blasting Yi Chen fiercely away. At the same time, the black-armored god of war condensed a black light curtain with all his strength, withstanding the powerful impact of the Samsara immortal demon eye. At this moment, Yi Chen, who was behind the black-armored army, had a fierce look in his eyes. Good opportunity. As soon as he finished speaking, a heart-stopping light suddenly erupted from his body, and his whole body disappeared in an instant. The next second, appeared behind Yi Chen like a ghost. Yi Kong kept pinching the magic formula with his hands, and the surrounding space became distorted, and then a huge crack with a length of thousands of feet was torn open. Countless extremely sharp space blades spurted out, sweeping towards Yi Chen with endless killing intent. The blade of space is extremely sharp and can easily annihilate everything in front of it. Its power is astonishing. Yi Chen had no time to react, and countless deep and shallow wounds were torn apart by the blade of space on his body. The bright red blood was constantly flowing, obviously he had suffered a lot of trauma. It has to be said that Yi Kong's methods are so powerful that he can actually make a transcending tribulation realm monk hurt a strong man in the saint realm. This situation is really rare in the immortal cultivation world. As expected of a space god, he can actually use the power of space to hurt me. He is indeed quite capable. It's a pity that you think too highly of yourself, so just give me a chance and die. Facing Yi Kong, who was trying to seize his invincible dual pupils, Yi Chen would not hold back. His consciousness was firmly locked on the opponent, and he desperately activated the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye. The power of immortals and demons merged into one, shattering a large amount of space. Yi Chen, the power of the space divine body is beyond your imagination. Even if you are a strong saint, it will not be so easy to kill me. Facing such a terrifying power, Yi Kong was not afraid at all. His figure suddenly disappeared into the broken space. The raging power made it impossible for Yi Chen's consciousness to lock onto it. The power of the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye lost its target because of this, and Yi Chen had no choice but to blast his power towards the Yi family ancestral hall. Oh my God, why do you want to involve us when you are beating yourselves? The people in the ancestral hall were speechless. They thought they could take a breather, but they still couldn't escape, and more cracks appeared in the formation. Everyone's hearts are in their throats. According to the current situation of the formation, it will reach its limit after 2 more attacks. So he secretly prayed in his heart, hoping that Yi Chen would continue to turn his target to the black armored army, otherwise they would suffer. Yi Chen, let you see the power of the invincible dual pupils, the fire of the netherworld, refining gods, demons, and living beings, ha. Yi Kong's proud laughter came from the space, and then the terrifying black flame spread out and turned into a sea of heavenly fire. Dual pupils has a variety of terrifying methods, and nether fire is one of them. It is activated by the transcending tribulation realm cultivation base, and the power contained in it can indeed hurt the saint. At the same time, the black-armored god of war arrived from the sky and smashed down with his huge hammer, blocking all Yi Chen's escape routes, leaving him with no choice but to withstand the 2 attacks. Don't be happy too early. Yi Chen sneered, wanting to suppress himself just like that was simply wishful thinking. Today, let them see the true power of the Samsara Immortal Demon Eye. He muttered words and obscure spells from his mouth, just like the sound of heaven singing. With the thought of the magic formula, the spiritual power in the body surged like a tide, pouring into the eyes without reservation. At the same time, he also sacrificed 1,000 years of longevity to activate the immortal demonic eyes of reincarnation. The 6 paths of reincarnation will make eternity empty. In an instant, Yi Chen's eyes burst out with dazzling light, and the terrifying power of immortals and demons surged out. For a moment, the situation changed, lightning flashed, and countless shadows of god-fiend demons appeared in the sky. They either roared ferociously or stared indifferently, giving people a creepy feeling. Then a huge grey millstone slowly appeared, exuding an eternal and ancient atmosphere. It seems as if it has existed since the beginning of the world and has witnessed the vicissitudes of countless years. Chapter 11 10,000 Soul Flags. The people of Bailiang City were terrified, looking at the huge millstone in the sky for fear that it would fall and destroy the entire city. Oh my God, it's so scary. The power is estimated to have reached the level of a holy king. If the Northern Liang King doesn't take action, I'm afraid the Yi family will be doomed. The facts were as expected. The grey millstone in the sky turned once, and the terrifying power of reincarnation fell, instantly annihilating the fire of the netherworld. The black-armored god of war roared angrily and unleashed all his strength. The divine hammer in his hand shone with terrifying black light, trying to break through the suppression of the power of reincarnation. But it was all in vain. Want to escape? No way. Go to hell. Yi Chen looked calm and composed, and controlled the gray millstone to shoot out a divine light, destroying the black-armored god of war in the blink of an eye, causing most of the black-armored troops to suffer backlash and vomit blood and fall to the ground. At this time, the shadow of God Fiend surrounding the millstone also roared and rushed towards the black-armored army. A ruthless massacre unfolded, with limbs and arms flying everywhere, and blood staining the earth red. Every God Fiend shadow possesses powerful strength and skilled combat skills. Like a demon from hell, it harvested the lives of the black-armored army mercilessly, and screams and begging for mercy could be heard from the field. Yi Chen stood high in the sky, watching everything happening in front of him without any hesitation, as if it had nothing to do with him. In the blink of an eye, all the tens of thousands of black-armored troops fell, including the half-saint grade commander. The Yi family turned into a Shura field. The gray millstone slowly dissipated in the sky, and the shadow of God Fiend also disappeared between the sky and the earth, but the terrifying power is definitely unforgettable. The endless killings made Yi Chen's killing body become violent, the blood and energy in his body continued to surge, and his strength continued to increase. However, after using the Saint's Cultivation Experience card, I can't intuitively feel how much my strength has improved. Host, don't be in a daze, run the Heavenly Demon killing skill with all your strength, and strive to plunder more cultivation and longevity. The power of all spirits in the world originates from heaven and earth, and will quickly return to heaven and earth after death. What goes against heaven in the Heavenly Demon Kung Fu is that it competes with heaven and earth for these powers to improve one's own cultivation and longevity. It can be said to go against heaven. Yi Chen crazily used the Heavenly Demon killing skill and began to plunder the dead person's cultivation and longevity. 4th layer of Condensing Yuan Realm. 5th layer of Condensing Yuan Realm. Condensing Yuan Realm 6th layer. Lifespan will be increased by 30,000 years. The host completes the task of killing all the black-armored troops and is rewarded with Law Weapon, 10,000 Soul Banners, level up to 3 levels, and Dragon Blood Pill times 100. 10,000 Soul Banners, Advanced Law Weapon, initially low-grade Law Weapon, the more souls absorbed, the higher the level. Dragon Blood Pill, it is refined with the help of dragon essence and blood with the help of various precious heavenly materials and earthly treasures. It can cleanse the marrow and cut the body, strengthen the body. Spirit Sea Realm 7th layer. Spirit Sea Realm 8th layer. Spirit Sea Realm 9th layer. Host, the souls of the black-armored army have not completely dissipated. Use the 10,000 soul flags to collect them quickly. Don't waste them. Damn, I almost forgot. Yi Chen slapped his head fiercely, flew the 10,000 souls banner he had just obtained into the air, and used saint-level power to activate it, and in an instant it ballooned to a size of 10,000 meters. Most of the fallen black-armored souls were in an unconscious state, and they all flew into the 10,000 souls banner uncontrollably. There are a few souls that are relatively powerful and still retain some of their instincts and strength in life, and are constantly struggling to get rid of their restraints. You are no match when you are alive, let alone after death. Come in. Yi Chen shouted loudly and increased the power of the 10,000 soul banner. All struggles were in vain. The 10,000 souls banner is upgraded to middle-grade law weapon. The 10,000 souls banner is upgraded to high-grade law weapon. The 10,000 soul banner is upgraded to a low-grade treasure. After absorbing tens of thousands of souls, including semi-saints, the 10,000 soul banner became a low-grade king weapon, with its power increased more than 100 times. It is indeed a supreme killing system. It is so fierce. Today I will sweep the entire Yi family. Yi Chen held the 10,000 souls banner and laughed crazily. His pupils turned into the color of blood. It seemed that there was a sea of blood evolving, and endless creatures were wailing. The terrifying murderous intent soared into the sky, and everyone in Bailiang City could feel it, and a chill grew in their hearts unconsciously. The consciousness of a famous saint penetrated through the past and saw Yi Chen's figure. After a moment, he secretly sighed. It's scary. Yi Chen's fourth son seems to be born to kill. The human sovereign world is destined to be turbulent in the future. The people in the Yi family ancestral hall were even more trembling, fearing that it would be their turn next. They really wanted to cry without tears. What kind of heaven-defying fortune did Yi Chen get, and why did he suddenly become so terrifying? Hidden deep in the space, a look of disbelief appeared on Yi Kong's face, unable to understand why Yi Chen, whom he had deposed, suddenly rose to possess such terrifying power. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but shudder, and grabbed the opponent's invincible dual pupils myself. If nothing unexpected happens, Yi Chen's next target will be him. If he wants to survive, he must hide himself well and never show his trace again. Things were just as he thought. At this time, Yi Chen calmed down his inner excitement and began to scan the void with his consciousness. He was just focusing on killing people and ignored Yi Kong. The opponent possesses a space divine body and is proficient in various space secret arts. His aura is perfectly hidden, without even a trace leaking out. Unless Yi Kong takes the initiative to show off his flaws, it will be really difficult to find him. After pondering for a moment, Yi Chen smiled. Yi Kong, you are not known as the proud man of heaven. Why are you hiding? If you have the ability, come out and fight. With the combination of the space divine body and the invincible dual pupils, it should have been blessed with countless auras, but now it is trembling like a bereaved dog. It doesn't feel good. Yi Kong, who was hiding deep in the space, turned blue with anger. He had never been insulted like this before. It was even more uncomfortable than killing him. But if he rushes out, he will fall into Yi Chen's trap. As long as he appears, the saint-level consciousness will lock him tightly, and it will not be so easy to get rid of him. Damn guy, when father comes out, I will destroy you again. For the sake of his own life, he could only try his best to endure it and wait until Yi Kong came out before looking for Yi Chen to settle matters. Yi Chen's consciousness covered 100 miles of space, but unfortunately he didn't notice any strange fluctuations. It seems that Yi Kong's will is strong enough and he was not irritated by his few words. You are so tolerable. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are talking about you. It's a pity that no matter what you say today, you will not escape death. Accept your fate. Now that he has enough strength, he naturally wants to take back everything that belongs to him and let Yi Kong fully understand how he felt at that time. The pain of gouging out your eyes every time. And the despair of losing all his cultivation. Actually, I can give you a chance to live, that is, hand over the dual pupils obediently, and then kneel down in front of me and beg for mercy. If I am in a good mood, I might be able to spare your life. What do you think? To be honest, it would be better to kill Yi Kong than to keep him alive and let him taste the feeling of life being worse than death. Chapter 12 Destroy the Yi Family Ancestral Hall. I can't be fooled by the provocative general method. I must hold back. The continuous verbal insults almost made Yi Kong lose his mind, and he wanted to go out and kill Yi Chen immediately. But thinking about the gap between the two of them, he still released his clenched fist and forced himself to calm down. Seeing that Gigi's method was useless, Yi Chen was not ready to waste time anymore and set his sights on the Yi family ancestral hall. It seems that you three young masters don't dare to come out, so let's kill you first and see how long they can endure it. Even though he had killed so many people, Yi Kwangmu and Rong Shui didn't even come out to stop him, which made him very confused. To be honest, he really wants to see what his so-called parents will look like when they see his current behavior. The Yi family members in the ancestral hall panicked. It was obvious that Yi Chen was not joking. Fourth young master, please don't be impulsive. If the ancestral hall is destroyed, your father will definitely not let you go. The strong men of the Yi family were so frightened that they had to move out of Yi Kwang, hoping that Yi Chen would stop. If the family ancestral hall hadn't been destroyed, they would all be sinners through the ages. Little did he know that these words directly stimulated Yi Chen, and the murderous intention around him kept rolling, almost turning into reality. Then, there are still people in the Yi family who don't know whether to live or die. There is an old man who is self-sufficient and highly respected, and he said sincerely, Yi Chen, if you look back now, maybe there is still room for things to change. The Yi family will definitely train you well by then, and what happened before will never happen again. By then, it will not be a problem for the 4 elites of the Yi family to dominate the entire human sovereign world. The future will be bright. Don't be impulsive for the moment. Before he finished speaking, Yi Chen activated the Samsara immortal demon eyes, and the terrifying immortal and demonic power attacked the ancestral hall formation, proving his attitude with actions. A bunch of idiots. I don't have such a father, and the Yi family has nothing to do with me. I will destroy you all today. A cold-blooded family might as well disappear from the world. Let's start from the ancestral hall. Thinking of everything the Yi family had done to him before, Yi Chen's murderous intention became even stronger. The suffering and torture he had suffered were washed away by endless killings. The system detects the murderous intention in the host's heart, and obtains a new task, destroying the Yi family ancestral hall, and is rewarded with a god-level heart-clearing spell, 3 levels of realm upgrade, and Holy Soul Pill X100. Yi Chen, if you bully your master and destroy your ancestors, you will definitely not die well in the future. The Yi family members cursed loudly, never expecting that such a day would come when they and others could not even protect the Yi family ancestral hall, and would not have the shame to see their ancestors even if they died. So much nonsense. I'm afraid you won't be able to see what happens to me in the future. Yi Chen's face was full of disdain, and he activated the Samsara immortal demon eyes again, and the terrifying power impacted on the formation. Crack. Crack. The sound of shattering continued, and the formation could no longer bear it. The condensed light curtain turned into fragments all over the sky, and most of the clan members in the ancestral hall were killed or injured instantly. Several semi-saints tore apart the space and tried to escape, but how could Yi Chen give them a chance? He punched through the space and killed the surviving Yi family members. Blood splattered all over the ancestral hall, and a large number of tablets collapsed. If outsiders saw it, they would be shocked. At the same time, he was running the heavenly demon Kung Fu and the 10,000 soul banner, frantically plundering everything around him, not sparing any of the souls who had cultivated his longevity. Innate Realm First Layer. Innate Realm Second Layer. The 10,000 souls banner is upgraded to the middle grade king weapon. Oh my god, the 4th son of the Yi family is so cruel. He killed so many clan members without blinking an eye. It seems that he has fallen into Demon Dao. Look at the black flag in the opponent's hand, which is collecting the souls of the dead. Don't mess with this guy. If you see him, you must stay away. It's best to tell your disciples not to go out recently. Otherwise, provoking this evil star will definitely bring about the disaster of annihilation. That's right, you must not mess with a ruthless person who even destroyed your own family. Several semi-saints were nearby. When they saw the situation inside the Yi family, they were extremely shocked and began to communicate privately. Wang Yequang, a man with a different surname who shocked the entire Liang dynasty, guarded the 13 prefectures of Beiliang. He had millions of black armored troops under his command, and his clansmen were spread all over the country. Now that they have been reduced to such a state, if it were their family or power, there would probably not even be any dregs left. Yi Chen sensed that there was someone spying nearby, raised his hand and shot out several powerful spiritual powers, sending them flying across the sky, and their blood was scattered all over Beiliang city. Everyone who has nothing to do with you should stay away. I'm not a beauty taking a bath. What's there to see? They are sneaky and annoying, so they take action to teach them a lesson. If they don't know what to do, they don't mind killing them too. Several half-saints were all seriously injured, and Yi Chen's spiritual power was rushing around in their bodies, accompanied by a terrifying murderous intention. If they were not expelled in time, their lives might be in danger. Thinking that these people did not dare to stay, they quickly stabilized their bodies and fled. He was afraid that if he stayed for one more second, Yi Chen would kill them. I was just here to join in the fun, but I didn't want to risk my life here. Yi Chen was too lazy to pay attention to those people. He focused on the memorial tablets in the ancestral hall and sneered at the corners of his mouth as he watched the introductions of each person. The Yi family's heritage is indeed very deep. There have been several powerful quasi-emperors in their ancestors, but it is a pity that there is no great emperor. Otherwise, the power would definitely be comparable to some Holy Land powers. Yi Kong, if you don't get out, I will destroy all the tablets, and you will become the eternal sinner of the Yi family. Give you 10 breaths to think about it. 10, 9, 8, 1. Then don't blame me. 10 breaths passed in the blink of an eye, and there was still no movement from Yi Kong. Yi Chen would not care so much. He raised his hand and held up the countless spiritual tablets in the ancestral hall, smashing them one by one to see if this guy could still hold back. When Yi Kwang saw the scene in front of him, he could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He input a few spiritual powers into Murong Shue's body and rushed out. In a flash, he came to Yi Chen and shouted angrily. You traitor, if you dare to deceive your master and destroy your ancestors, and destroy the Yi family ancestral hall, I will definitely clean up the family today. The tyrannical blade intent ravaged the world and enveloped the entire Bailiang city. Countless creatures were trembling in fear, and even the weak ones couldn't help but kneel down and kowtow continuously. This is the power of the Holy Emperor level. It can destroy an entire city with a snap of a finger, without any suspense at all. Don't give it to me. Who do you think you are? I feel sick when I see you. I don't have a father like you. Also, I have severed ties with you. I am not considered a member of the Yi family at all. There is no such thing as bullying my master and destroying my ancestors. Yi Chen had a look of disgust on his face. He really didn't want to have anything to do with the Yi family at all. He smashed all the tablets with a wave of his hand, showing no mercy at all. Want to see what Yi Kwang could do to him? The host completes the task of destroying the Yi family ancestral hall, and is rewarded with the god-level secret skill Clearing the Heart, which increases the realm by 3 levels in a row, and the Holy Soul Pill X100. Pure Heart Mantra. If your heart is as clear as ice, you will not be surprised when the sky falls. You will be calm in all changes, your spirit will be calm and peaceful. The power of stimulating the killing body will affect one's own mind. The heart-cleaning curse can keep the host a little clear at all times and prevent it from completely falling into a state of madness. Holy Soul Pill. Stabilize the soul and enhance the power of the soul. Innate Realm 3rd layer. Innate Realm 4th layer. Innate Realm 5th layer. Tongzi, you're so good, you've prepared everything for me, and I don't have any worries. After Yi Chen received the mission reward, he immediately beamed with joy. He could see that these exercises, magic weapons, secret techniques, elixirs, etc. were all tailor-made for him. Chapter 13 The Sky Shadow Changes. Son, no one can save you today. Yi Kwang roared, his whole body shaking with anger, sparks of anger flashing in his eyes. All the Yi family members in Bailiang City died, and the family ancestral hall was completely destroyed. In front of him, he turned all the spiritual tablets into pieces, and they were all made by his youngest son. If the news spreads, he won't know where to put his face, and he doesn't know how many forces will laugh at him. Thinking of this, Yi Kwang could no longer suppress the anger in his heart, and suddenly sacrificed his natal weapon, a white magic sword. The divine sword exudes the aura of dominance over the world and contains unpredictable power. When it appears, the surrounding space shakes violently, making it difficult to withstand the power of the divine sword. With a slight swipe of the Thousand-Zhang sword chi across the air, it slashed down at Yi Chen at an astonishing speed, splitting the space in front of him into 2, showing how powerful it was. That's pretty cruel. There was a sneer on Yi Chen's face. Yi Kwang had no intention of leaving himself away to survive. He seemed to want to kill him immediately. Facing such a terrifying attack, one had to avoid its edge. The gap between the two sides was too big and could not be easily bridged. Yi Chen used the secret technique of divine movement in all realms, shadow change, used spiritual power to evolve into hundreds of clones, and quickly entered the broken space to hide. If you want to avoid attacks in this way, wait for the right time to show up again. Otherwise, Yi Kwang may not be his opponent if he directly uses the Holy Emperor's Cultivation Experience card. It's a small skill, but in the face of absolute strength, all means are in vain, just suffer death. Yi Kwang's consciousness instantly locked onto Yi Chen's body, and the 1,000-foot sword energy swept across in an instant, shattering a large amount of space, and dozens of clones were wiped out. Mater, the powerful Holy Emperor, is terrifying. Little did he know that Yi Chen was alive and well. The shadow transformation was a secret technique performed with the help of space power. The main body and clone could be switched at will. Otherwise, he would have been severely injured just now. Deep in the space that was currently being shattered, he was hiding in the space storm, avoiding the detection of Yi Kuang's spiritual consciousness, making him unable to notice a trace of his breath. Dead? Yi Kuang's eyes showed confusion. Logically speaking, it is not a problem for this blow to severely damage the strong saint, but he still lacks some firepower to kill him. The powerful consciousness is constantly searching the void, trying to find some clues, trying to find out where Yi Chen is hiding. Konger. Unexpectedly, he suddenly noticed that Yi Kong's aura was hidden under a large number of space debris. If he hadn't been strong in consciousness, he might not have been able to detect it. Seeing that he was discovered, Yi Kong simply stopped hiding and walked out from the depths of the space. With Yi Kuang, a powerful Saint Emperor, Yi Chen would never be able to hurt himself no matter how defiant he was, so there was no need to worry too much. Father, that guy Yi Chen is so weird. He seems to have fallen into demon Dao and suddenly burst into saint-level cultivation. The entire Yi family was razed to the ground. All members of the clan were killed and injured, and almost no one was left alive. He even went so far as to destroy the family ancestral hall and smash the spiritual tablets of countless predecessors. This is truly an unforgivable crime. My father must not forgive him. The terrifying strength that Yi Chen showed just now makes him still feel extremely scared. If you can't catch the opponent today, it will definitely leave an indelible shadow in your heart, which will be very detrimental to your future cultivation. Yi Kuang's expression was gloomy. In fact, Yi Chen's sudden burst of saint power attracted his attention. The spirit partitioning consciousness comes to the outside world and sees everything that happens after that. Naihe was in the process of healing Murong Shue's injuries and had no time to be distracted, which led to the current situation. Tens of thousands of black-armored troops died. Everyone in the family died. The ancestral hall was destroyed and the spiritual tablets were broken. Fortunately, Yi Kong was shrewd and hid himself in advance with the help of his special physique, so he didn't encounter Yi Chen's vicious hands. You must know that by killing Yi Chen directly at that time, you can avoid a series of things that followed. There was another thing that he still couldn't understand. After Yi Chen lost his human sovereign bloodline, supreme sword bone, and invincible dual pupils, he was no different from a useless person. Why did he suddenly burst out with such amazing strength? Even if you fall into demon Dao, you are far from reaching this point. No matter what skills you practice, your cultivation is gradual, and it is impossible to eat a big fat man in one breath. The only explanation is to use the heaven-defying divine object to forcibly increase his strength to the saint level. Perhaps as Yi Chen took the initiative to reveal before, the cultivation of a saint can only last for 3 hours, and will return to its original shape once the time is up. Seeing Yi Kuang's complex expression and not knowing what he was thinking, Yi Chen couldn't help but ask, "Father, what's wrong with you?" The most important thing right now is to catch Yi Chen. If he is allowed to escape, there will be endless troubles in the future, both for himself and the entire Yi family. Yi Kuangwen came back to his senses after hearing this. His expression became extremely cold, his consciousness locked on everything around him, and he could detect any strange fluctuations immediately. Don't worry Konger, my consciousness covers the entire Bailiang city, and no disturbance can escape my perception. Yi Chen must be nearby. He must have used some kind of secret space technique and is hiding in the deep space. In addition, its strength has been forcibly improved, so it will definitely not last long. We can just wait quietly. At that time, I will definitely skin the traitor with my own hands and avenge the death of the Yi family members. After hearing this, Yi Kong's eyes flashed with a cold look, and he echoed, "Father, this is how you should treat your fourth brother, who deceives his master and destroys his ancestors. I think there is a big secret hidden in the fourth brother. If possible, we must get it." Yi Kuang nodded. The father and son had the same idea. They both wanted to see what kind of trump card Yi Chen had. Chapter 14, the three swords of Overlord, destruction of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. It's a joke that tiger poison cannot eat its seeds. Brothers are nothing more than that. Yi Chen, who was hiding deep in the space, couldn't help but sneer in his heart, and his murderous intention continued to grow. Detect the host's murderous intention, get a new mission, take back your own dual pupils, abolish Yi Kong's cultivation, and be rewarded with the god-level skill Dragon Elephant Heaven Suppressing Technique, 3 levels in a row, and Phoenix Treasure Pill times 100. Tongzi, use the Holy Emperor's Cultivation Experience card. Originally, I wanted to wait before taking action, but now it seems that it is not necessary. Completing the mission is the most important thing now. He did not hesitate to use his most powerful trump card. The only bad thing was that the Holy Emperor Experience card gave random cultivation levels. It may be the first layer of the Holy Emperor, or it may be the 9th layer of the Holy Emperor. Everything depends on luck. Emperor O must be possessed. The host consumes the Holy Emperor Experience card and randomly obtains the Holy Emperor 2nd layer cultivation, which lasts for 3 hours and has unlimited spiritual power. What a bad luck. Yi Chen shrugged helplessly, ignoring his expectations. Just now, I was fantasizing about obtaining the Holy Emperor 9th layer cultivation level, and I also wanted to get rid of that old D Yi Kuang so that I could vent my bad anger. Now it seems that the plan is going to come to nothing. After all, Yi Kuang possesses the 6th layer cultivation level of the Holy Emperor, carries the Vajra holy body, understands the law of the sword, and is very powerful. On the other hand, when I look back at my 2nd layer cultivation in the Holy Emperor realm, because it was forcibly raised by the system, I have no strength but no rules. Compared to a being like Yi Kuang, the difference in strength is not even a tiny bit. The only advantage is unlimited spiritual power and the samsara immortal demon eyes. He was probably evenly matched, and it was impossible to defeat Yi Kuang. Unless you sacrifice a large amount of longevity at all costs to unleash the true power of the samsara immortal demon eyes. Of course, if it is not necessary, Yi Chen is not willing to do this, because the accumulated longevity can save his life at critical moments, so it is better not to spend it carelessly. After getting a little familiar with the power in his body, Yi Chen used another secret technique in the world of magic, Kong Yin. The whole person directly integrated with the space and walked out cautiously. Yi Kuang, who was on the 6th layer of the Holy Emperor realm, did not notice at all. It is conceivable that the various secret techniques of Shenxing Wanjia are so unbelievable, so he sneaked up behind the two of them, preparing to catch Yi Kuang by surprise, and then sneak attack Yi Kuang. As time continued to pass, Yi Kuang couldn't hold his breath, so he shouted into the void. Yi Chen, things have changed, why are you no longer as arrogant as before? Come out if you can. I'm afraid the terms shrunken turtle and lost dog are more suitable for you, right? Not to mention how happy I felt after scolding him. It was the same tone as before. If it could stimulate Yi Chen to reveal his flaws, that would be even better. Little did they know that Yi Chen was hiding in the space behind them, showing a contemptuous smile and mockingly saying, as things turn, you still have to come to my house. As soon as he finished speaking, he manifested his magical power, waved his hand to imprison Yi Kuang's whole body, and pulled him to his side. At the same time, his eyes shot out extremely terrifying immortal and demonic power, which instantly penetrated the space and came directly in front of Yi Kuang. You be *********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Kwang's face instantly became extremely ugly, and there was a strong sense of life and death crisis in his heart. They never expected that Yi Chen would suddenly appear behind them and burst out with such amazing power. There was no time to think at this moment, so I could only activate the Vajra holy body with all my strength, hoping to withstand Yi Chen's attack. Yi Kwang's whole body shone brightly, exuding terrifying holy power. He stood there like a mountain, with bright golden light continuously flowing out of his body, completely covering his body. In this way, Yi Chen's immortal and demonic power collided with Yi Kwang's Vajra holy body. Moment. The aftermath of a terrifying force swept out and swept thousands of miles away. A large number of surrounding buildings collapsed one after another, and many innocent people were involved and suffered serious injuries. The scene was chaotic, as if the end was coming. The king of Northern Liang has taken action. It seems that Yi Chen has hidden his trump card, otherwise it would never be like this. Run away quickly. Now the Yi family has become a place of right and wrong. It's easy to die if you get too close. Don't take any chances. Everyone in Bailiang city was in danger and stayed away from the Yi family. The timid ones even escaped from Bailiang city in one breath and planned to come back after a while. As the saying goes, when gods fight, mortals suffer. This is the current situation. No one wants to get involved in it. The two forces offset each other and eventually dissipated between heaven and earth. Both sides were evenly matched, and neither could do anything to the other. Yi Kong was stunned when he witnessed all this. I don't want to believe that what is happening in front of me is real. Impossible, my father is the 6th layer of the Holy Emperor realm. How can you be my opponent? He, who has always been arrogant, simply cannot accept it. He does not believe that Yi Chen, who has become a useless person, can become so powerful. Nothing is impossible, everything is thanks to you. Yi Chen looked at Yi Kong in his hand, showed a cruel smile, and said calmly, "Take away my dual pupils and destroy my cultivation. Today I will treat others in their own way. Let you experience what it feels like to be a useless person. The 3 heroes of the Yi family will probably become 2 after today, haha." The palm of his hand slowly came close to Yi Kong's eyes, letting him experience the helpless despair and how helpless he felt. Yi Kong's body trembled, and he tried his best to break free from the restraints and used various space secret techniques, but to no avail. In the face of the huge gap in strength, all means are in vain. "Father, please save me quickly." After seeing Yi Chen's methods, he knew that this guy definitely meant what he said. A ruthless man who could even kill his own people mercilessly, how could he let him go? The thought of becoming a useless person is absolutely unbearable. At the moment, I can only place my hope on Yi Kwang. "Sir, stop it!" Yi Kwang shouted. 3 tyrant swordsmen. The sound was like a thunder, causing the surrounding air to tremble. The magic sword in his hand was surrounded by the power of law, shining with mysterious light. The magic sword seemed to be integrated with him and became a part of his body. Yi Kwang took a deep breath and concentrated all his strength on his arms. The muscles were tense, the veins were bulging, and there was determination and firmness in his eyes. Waving the magic sword in his hand, he unleashed the first of the 3 tyrant swords, the destruction of thousands of miles of mountains and rivers. A huge sword energy spurted out from the magic sword, roaring towards Yi Chen like a giant dragon. The sword energy was thousands of meters long and hundreds of meters wide, carrying unparalleled power. Wherever it passed, the space was shattered and the void was twisted, as if it was about to tear the entire world apart. The violent power makes people shudder, sweeping in like a torrent, and everything around them turns into nothingness. Chapter 15 Reincarnation Heavenly Disc. Are you serious about it? Yi Chen was not afraid at all. The samsara immortal demon eyes evolved into a terrifying vision of heaven and earth, the shadow of God Fiend was flying, and the grey millstone appeared again. Now that he has the 2nd layer cultivation level of the Holy Emperor, he can activate the samsara immortal demon eye without sacrificing longevity, and its power is more than 100 times more powerful than before. The entire Bailiang city fell into deathly silence, and countless people did not even dare to take a breath. They all knew that if the grey millstone above fell, the entire city would be razed to the ground, and no one would be spared. Crunch. As the grey millstone rotated slightly, a terrifying power of reincarnation broke out instantly, directly crushing Yi Kwang's terrifying sword energy. What are you doing? Yi Kwang was so shocked that he could hardly speak. Yi Chen's trump cards seemed to be endless. He first became a strong saint, and just now he became a strong saint emperor. The burst of power made him feel threatened, and now he used the more powerful divine ability. It can be said that every time he was unexpected. This is the samsara disc, which can reverse life and death. It's a pity that my current cultivation level can only summon a shadow, otherwise it would be easy to kill you. But it's okay to stop you. Watch carefully how Yi Kong is destroyed by me. Sooner or later, your Yi family's hopes will be destroyed in my hands, ha ha ha. Yi Chen frankly stated the ability of the Samsara immortal demon eye, just to see how Yi Kuang should deal with it, and then took Yi Kong into the center of the Samsara heavenly disc. Yi Chen, what do you want to do? Let me go. Yi Kong was very scared, he didn't want to become a useless person. Don't be afraid, I am very kind. Just getting back what belongs to you. Yi Chen showed a joking smile and thrust his fingers into the opponent's eyes. His fingers kept stirring, and blood came out in a gush. Ah, my eyes. Father, come and save me. Yi Kong wailed in pain. He had just obtained dual pupils for a few hours, but he didn't expect them to be poached again so soon. The double blow, both psychological and physical, almost made him faint. Yi Kuang's face was extremely ugly. The powerful blade intent condensed and turned into a supreme magic sword, slashing hard at the Samsara sky pan. Sir, stop it. He's your brother, don't you care about blood ties? After Yi Kong fused dual pupils, he used a lot of spiritual power to nourish him. If he lost it now, his realm would definitely fall. Therefore, Yi Chen must be stopped, otherwise the consequences will be disastrous. Huh, is it wrong to take back my own things? Yi Chen sneered and didn't want to say anything more. Until now, Yi Kuang didn't realize his mistake and blindly favored Yi Kong without thinking about his own life or death. Thinking of this, he controlled the reincarnation disc and suppressed Yi Kuang's condensed supreme magic sword. The two sides were in a stalemate for a while. At the same time, both fingers showed a trace of power, slowly destroying Yi Kong's meridians and dantian, causing him to experience endless torture. Ah, my cultivation level? Yi Chen, you are so cruel, I will definitely kill you. At this time, Yi Kong was worse off than dead. If Yi Chen didn't immediately dig out the dual pupils, he would have to release a force to continuously destroy the meridians and dantian in his body. All the pain and despair rushed into my heart. Cruel? Then I can't compare to you. Yi Chen felt it was very ridiculous. How come you don't feel cruel after extracting your own human sovereign bloodline? Isn't it cruel to cut out the bones of your own supreme sword? Are you not cruel to seize your own invincible dual pupils? Disappointment never comes once or twice. Now to turn around and say that I am cruel is really a big joke. Yi Kong shivered in fear when he thought that the murderous intent in his body was even stronger, almost as powerful as Yi Kuang's blade intent. Fourth brother, I know I was wrong. Please let me go. I will definitely make it up to you in the future. At this moment, I felt very regretful. If I had known that Yi Chen had such terrifying means, would have done nothing to provoke him. Seeing this, Yi Kuang was so anxious that he frantically attacked the Samsara sky pan, trying to break through this obstacle and rescue Yi Kong. Sir, even if I pay a heavy price, I will kill you today. Yi Kuang roared angrily. Without hesitation, he sacrificed his sacred weapon and used the second form of the three tyrant swords, Star Falling Slash. This sword was so powerful that Yi Kuang even bit the tip of his tongue and spit out a mouthful of blood and sprinkled it on the blade. Endless blade intent soared into the sky at this moment, and the power of heaven and earth from thousands of miles around was attracted by him and gathered one after another. The divine power dominates the world, and no one can compete with it. A bright sword light broke through the world and collided fiercely with the Samsara heavenly disc. The aftermath of the terrifying power raged, and everything within 1,000 miles was turned into nothingness. Fortunately, the two forces exploded in the air, otherwise the people in Bailiang City would have suffered. Countless people gathered their eyes in the sky, wanting to see the outcome of the two, but unfortunately their spiritual thoughts could not penetrate the chaotic space. Click, click. At this time, there was a crisp sound, and the Samsara sky disk finally could not withstand Yi Kuang's terrifying power, and several deep cracks appeared on it. Slowly dissipated between heaven and earth, as if it had never existed. Yi Kuang's expression was cold and he didn't look happy at all, because the blow just now cost him 100 years of life. The more important point is that Yi Kong is still in Yi Chen's hands, and it is not easy to save him. If Yi Chen is forced to do anything, the price will be something he cannot afford. The traitor, it's time to turn around. As long as you are willing to let go of Yi Kong and ensure that the past things are forgotten for your father, what do you think? Yi Chen laughed to himself. If he had been treated like this, how could he have severed ties with his family? He felt helpless just thinking about it. You are a treacherous child at every turn, you really take yourself seriously. Once again, I have nothing to do with you, don't try to establish any relationship with me. It's time for dual pupils to be returned to its original owner, haha. After saying that, he dug out Yi Kong's eyes and fused the dual pupils with the Samsara immortal demon eyes. I believe he will be able to exert even more terrifying power in the future. Moreover, dual pupils absorbed part of Yi Kong's spiritual power. After Yi Chen refining it, his cultivation level was upgraded to innate realm 7th layer. Gizi, you. Yi Kwang was shaking with anger, but he didn't dare to act rashly at this time and could only wait for the right opportunity to take action. If I just want your son, I will give you 2 arms as a token of my gratitude. Yi Chen grabbed Yi Kong and pulled out his 2 arms and threw them to Yi Kwang. Seeing the other person's angry expression is a relief. Chapter 16 You Don't Deserve to Be a Mother. At this time, Murong Xuesheng turned around, feeling the terrifying power raging in the Yi family, and suddenly became anxious, fearing that something unexpected would happen. He stepped out of the way and came to the outside world, just in time to see the bloody scene in front of him, and his whole body felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Don't want. She was unconscious for a few hours, and when she woke up, everything had changed. The entire Yi family was reduced to ruins. The red ground seems to indicate something. What was even more difficult for her to accept was brothers killing each other. He saw with his own eyes that Yi Chen cruelly gouged out Yi Kong's eyes and tore off 2 of his arms. As a mother, how could I bear to see such a scene? Tears flowed down unsatisfactorily. Chener, he is your brother, why do you do this? Losing dual pupils and amputating both arms will affect your cultivation even if you can recover in the future. Don't you know? Facing Murong Xue's accusation, Yi Chen's heart burned with anger and he asked coldly. Why didn't you say this when Yi Kong took away my dual pupils? Where were you when Yi Kong destroyed my meridians and dantian? You keep saying you'll protect me, but do you do it? Murong Xue, I am very disappointed in you. You are not worthy of being a mother at all. Get away from me, or I will kill you too. After saying that, he punched out, instantly sending Murong Xue flying away, with blood spitting out from his mouth. Yi Kwang's expression changed drastically, and he quickly flew to catch the seriously injured Murong Xue, sending him spiritual energy to stabilize his injury. Ma'am, are you okay? At this time, Murong Xue had a dull look on her face. Yi Chen's previous words were like countless sharp knives piercing into her heart, causing her psychological defense to almost collapse. Later, he severely injured herself without mercy, which made her a little unbelievable and murmured to herself. This is not true. I am Chener's mother. How could he attack me? You. Sad tears kept falling. Murong Xue began to doubt herself. How much of a failure did you have to be to end up like this? Thinking about what I did before, I regretted it a lot. When Yi Kwang saw this, he hated iron and said angrily, it's been so long and I'm still crying. This little beast has gone crazy. He didn't care about blood ties and family ties. He killed all the Yi family members and destroyed the ancestral hall. Now he's gouging out his own brother's eyes and tearing off his arms. It's cruel and cruel. We don't have such a son. Rescuing Konger is the most important thing right now, you know? Murong Xue's delicate body trembled when she heard this. Regardless of Yi Kwang's obstruction, she staggered to Yi Chen again and said while holding back the grief in her heart. Chener, everything is our fault. Please let your brother go first. It's wrong for brothers to kill each other. For what I owed you before, my mother will compensate you double in the future. Don't do anything stupid. Pretend that what happened today didn't happen, okay? Murong Xue was unwilling to give up Yi Chen as her son, and wanted to use her affection to influence him, hoping to make him come back and make everything start again. At the end of the sentence, his voice was crying, his face was covered with tears, and he looked very pitiful. Yi Chen looked directly into Murong Shue's eyes, revealing endless indifference, and shot out a divine light without mercy, sending the opponent flying away. There is no regret medicine in the world. Now that I have made a decision, I will never change it in my life. And we have nothing to do with each other now. Please respect yourself, otherwise I won't mind killing you next time. Killing so many people one after another completely aroused the power of the killing god body, and his sanity was greatly affected. Murong Shue's words had no effect on him at all. With the help of Murong Shue, Yi Kuang was filled with murderous intent. Treason, do you still have any humanity? This is your biological mother. You actually want to kill her. How treasonous is it? What a white-eyed wolf. The situation has developed to this point, and I feel very regretful. I would have killed Yi Chen if I had known about it. Yi Chen laughed disdainfully. If it weren't for the fact that she is my mother, she would have become a corpse by now. It's not difficult to kill a mere Saint King realm. No matter what you say, it can't change Yi Kong's fate. If you want to kill me, just go ahead. Finished. With a flick of his finger, he cut off Yi Kong's left leg and threw it to Yi Kuang to show his current attitude. Yi Kong was in great despair, blood kept gushing out, his whole body was extremely weak, his eyes were gouged out, his hands and legs were broken, and the endless pain was simply unbearable. Now Yi Chen's attitude is so resolute, it can be said that he refuses to take hard or soft advice. If nothing unexpected happens, he will be doomed. Thinking of this, hatred kept growing, directly drowning his reason, and he gritted his teeth and said, "Father, mother, a child's life is not worth mentioning. You must not let this guy Yi Chen go. This guy dug out my eyes, cut off my arms, and is slowly destroying my meridians and dantian. It won't be long before I become a useless person. Now he's even cutting off one of my legs. He has no intention of letting me go. Don't worry about anything anymore. Kill this guy to avenge me. We must kill him." In fact, after experiencing such a thing, even if you are lucky enough to survive, it will leave an indelible shadow in your heart, and your realm may even stagnate. As a genius of a generation, naturally he cannot accept such a result. In this case, it is better to drag Yi Chen to die together. No. Murong Shue cried weakly, and her whole vision went dark and she passed out. Even the mighty Saint King couldn't bear such a blow, so you can imagine how sad he felt inside. Yi Kuang reluctantly picked up Murong Shue, temporarily opened a safe space and sent him in, then turned to look at Yi Chen. Looking at those indifferent eyes, I felt a mixture of sadness and anger in my heart. I didn't expect that the majestic king of northern Liang would actually fall into this situation, so I looked up to the sky and roared. Ah! A head of black hair instantly turned into silk, and the aura it exuded was more than 10 times more powerful. The natal sacred weapon exuded a terrifying blade intent, making the world tremble. "Sir, you forced me. I have burned my 10,000 years of longevity and my power has been raised to a level comparable to that of a quasi-emperor. I will definitely clean up the door for the Yi family today." The loud sound made the people in Bailiang City stunned. They stayed there for a long time, their heads going blank. You must know that the Holy Emperor realm has a lifespan of 30,000 years, and Yi Kuang burned 1/3 of it, which shows how far he was forced. Some strong men thought of something and immediately exclaimed, "No, I'm afraid the development of the matter is beyond our control. For the sake of our lives, we should escape from Bailiang City as soon as possible. Otherwise, if some power falls, we may be the ones who suffer, and the entire city may even be razed to the ground." Suddenly, the entire Bailiang City fell into panic, scrambling to escape, fearing that they would die here if they slowed down. Chapter 17, Sacrificing Longevity, Millions of God-fiend Shadows. Ha 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 ha. Yi Chen laughed. He really didn't expect that Yi Kuang would be so crazy, burning up his lifespan of 10,000 years. He would do anything to kill himself. He is indeed his good father. It's a pity that it's not so easy to kill yourself. My lifespan is no less than that of the other party, and I can also burn. Thinking of this, he was too lazy to continue wasting time. He raised his hand and cut off Yi Kong's right leg, and cut off the third leg together. The palm fell on Yi Kong's head, and the terrifying spiritual power destroyed the space god's body. All the meridians and dantian were shattered, and then he was thrown to Yi Kwang. Look at your precious son's appearance. I believe it won't be long before the other two will end up with the same fate, huh? Kill people and kill your heart. Now Yi Kong has completely become a disabled person, and it is almost impossible to recover. Yi Chen just makes him live in endless pain. The host completes the task, takes back his own dual pupils, abolishes Yi Kong's cultivation, and is rewarded with the god-level skill Dragon Elephant Heaven Suppressing Technique, which increases his realm by 3 levels in a row, and Phoenix Treasure Pill times 100. Dragon Elephant Heaven Suppressing Technique, the supreme physical training method. The body becomes a god, and the energy in blood condenses billions of ancient dragon elephants, which can suppress the 3,000 great Tao in the heavens and the world. Phoenix Pill, it contains the Nirvana Divine Fire, which can allow the user to be reborn from the ashes and greatly strengthen the physical body. Innate Realm 8th Layer. Innate Realm 9th Layer. First layer of the Sky Control Realm. At this time, Yi Kwang carefully took over Yi Kong. Looking at his son whose life breath was extremely weak, the anger in his heart could not be suppressed. It is so sad that a generation of genius has fallen to this. Take a deep breath and inject some strength into Yi Kong to help him maintain his last breath of life. After doing all this, Yi Kwang breathed a sigh of relief and sent Yi Kong into the space where Murong Shui was. Murong Shui felt something in her heart and woke up from the coma. When she saw Yi Kong turned into a human stick, her face became extremely pale and she couldn't help but shed tears. While crying, she stroked Yi Kong's cheek with her hand and murmured to herself, "Konger, Konger." Yi Kwang from the outside looked at the mother and son inside, and couldn't help but feel a stab of pain in his heart. Then he slowly turned around and stared at Yi Chen in the distance with indifferent eyes. "I will cut you into pieces today. I will put your soul into the sky lantern and burn it for thousands of years, making you suffer endless pain." Yi Kwang stretched out his palm gently, and a powerful force surged out from his palm. The massive power of heaven and earth began to gather, forming a huge primordial divine mountain. Primordial divine mountain is as high as 10,000 feet, like a behemoth, giving people an irresistible sense of oppression. Following Yi Kwang's control, the primordial divine mountain slowly fell, with terrifying suppressive power, as if it was going to crush the entire world. The space has become frozen, and time seems to have stopped flowing. After paying such a heavy price, naturally he didn't want Yi Chen to die easily, so he must capture him and torture him, and find out what secrets he had hidden in him. Yi Kong watched the primordial divine mountain fall, activated the Samsara immortal demon eye with all his strength, and summoned the phantom of the Samsara heavenly disc to block it. It's still unclear who will win. Yi Kwang pressed down with his big hand, and the power of the sacred mountain suddenly increased several times. Countless cracks appeared in the reincarnation disc, and it was about to be destroyed. You are bound to die. No one can save you today. After burning for tens of thousands of years, if you still can't win over Yi Chen, wouldn't it be ridiculous? Yi Chen's expression was very calm. He was not just burning longevity, but he would accompany him to the end. Today he would give Yi Kwang a good slap in the face and leave a profound lesson to him. The fire of life around me is burning brightly, and in the blink of an eye, I have sacrificed my lifespan of 20,000 years. The majestic life force is like a torrent, rushing into the reincarnation disc continuously. In the blink of an eye, all the cracks were repaired, and the reincarnation disc regained its luster and became extremely solid, revealing the heart-stopping power of reincarnation. Immediately afterwards, countless phantoms of God-fiend flew out from the Samsara sky disc. They bared their teeth and claws, and continued to impact the primordial divine mountain with endless power and power. Every impact produced an earth-shattering noise, as if the whole world was shaking. The terrifying power is transmitted in the form of fluctuations visible to the naked eye, extending to faraway places. Boom, boom, boom. Huge roars came and went one after another, continuously. Even the primordial divine mountain is so indestructible that it cannot withstand the impact of Godfiend's shadow. After a moment, it began to shake violently, and finally turned into countless fragments and collapsed in a terrifying explosion. The fragments fell like meteors, hitting in all directions. Many of the fragments happened to fall in Bailiang City. For a time, countless buildings collapsed, and bottomless pits appeared on the ground. Those who had no time to escape were buried in the ruins and died miserably. Bailiang City, which had stood for thousands of years, was destroyed beyond recognition in an instant and turned into a messy ruins. Damn it, how many more tricks do you have left? Yi Kuang's face became extremely gloomy, as if he could drip water. I originally thought that by burning through tens of thousands of years of life and forcibly raising my power to the quasi-emperor level, I could easily suppress Yi Chen. But what he didn't expect was that Yi Chen actually burned Shou Yuan. Judging from the situation, it seemed that he burned more than himself. Afterwards, the Samsara sky disk erupted with shocking power, destroying the primordial divine mountain in one fell swoop. Until now, the terrifying power of reincarnation was revealed, which made him feel fearful and uneasy. What's even worse is that countless god-fiend shadows are coming like a tidal wave, each one containing powerful power. To this, Yi Kuang had to go all out and did not dare to slack off at all. The sacred weapon of destiny is constantly waved, and thousands of sword lights are intertwined to form a huge knife network to resist the impact of these god-fiend shadows. It cost a lot of money to successfully kill all the god-fiend shadows, but it consumed a lot of money. The corner of Yi Chen's mouth raised slightly. He knew that his 20,000 years of life was not a guarantee. In the reincarnation sky at this time, he could definitely meet gods and kill gods, meet Buddhas and kill Buddhas. Thinking of this figure, he flashed and quickly flew to the top of the samsara sky, and the shadow of God-fiend, who had a million thoughts in his mind, emerged again. Each one of them, with fierce murderous intent, rushed towards Yi and killed them, and they must pay a heavy price. Thousands of miles of mountains and rivers were destroyed. Stars falling slash. Yi Kuang's expression became solemn. He held the knife in both hands and slashed forward fiercely, and saw a huge sword light that was 100 miles long appeared. With the aura of destroying all things, it annihilated hundreds of thousands of god-fiend shadows before stopping. Then there was another sword, which produced an even more terrifying light. Wherever it passed, the void was torn open, killing hundreds of thousands of phantoms again. Now there are less than 100,000 god-fiend phantoms left, but Yuan is still not afraid of the impact of life and death. Yi Kuang can only condense the protective golden light to resist the impact of god-fiend phantoms. Bang, bang, bang. The shadow of god-fiend hit the golden light, making a series of dull sounds and violent energy fluctuations. The space with a radius of several thousand miles vibrated, and the entire space became distorted and deformed, like a broken mirror. The space cracks continued to spread, forming a terrifying space storm that wreaked havoc on everything around it. Chapter 18, Both Sides Suffer. After the two sides were in a stalemate for a while, Yi Kuang couldn't hold back his anger. His current strength was obtained by burning lifespan, and he couldn't bear such consumption. If you want to win the battle quickly, you must destroy the remaining god-fiend shadows in one go, and then look for opportunities to kill Yi Chen. Thinking of this, he activated the holy Vajra body with all his strength, and suddenly the whole body glowed with golden light. His whole body turned into the color of pure gold, and its hardness was comparable to that of a holy weapon. Then he removed the protective golden light, ignored all attacks, and rushed towards God-fiend's shadow like a god of war. His sacred weapon continued to exert force, and the remaining God-fiend's shadow was eliminated in a matter of seconds. Interesting. The phantom of God-fiend hit Yi Kuang, making a sound of metal colliding. It was very similar to a magical skill that I saw in my previous life. I didn't expect to encounter it here. You traitor, please die. Yi Kuang came out of the air, wanting to kill Yi Chen by surprise, so that he would no longer have to face the terrifying reincarnation disc. Little did he know that Yi Chen had been prepared for it, and the Samsara heavenly disc erupted with an astonishing power of reincarnation, knocking Yi Kuang back 10,000 meters. It's not that easy to sneak attack me. Yi Chen had a look of disdain on his face. He didn't expect that his cultivation level had reached such a level, and he wanted to do something to steal chickens and chickens. He was simply treating others as fools. Try the power of the Samsara heavenly disc. If you don't want to die, just run away from here with your tail between your legs. Just stay away from me when you see me in the future. Yi Chen rose into the air and raised his hands slowly and powerfully, as if he was controlling the rhythm of the entire world. The reincarnation disc rotates slowly under his control, and every rotation emits endless power of reincarnation, suppressing it in all directions. Not good. Yi Kuang's expression changed, and he was keenly aware of the strangeness in the surrounding space. Without hesitation, he unfolded his body skills and retreated as quickly as lightning, trying to avoid the blockade of the power of reincarnation. Bang! A dull impact sounded, and Yi Kuang's body seemed to have hit an invisible copper wall and was bounced back to the original place. Reluctantly, he tried again and galloped in other directions, but the result was still the same. At this moment, the reincarnation disc began to slowly descend. As it approached, the suppressive force instantly increased by more than 10 times. Yi Kuang only felt as if his whole body was stuck in a sticky quagmire, his movements became extremely difficult, and even his breathing became somewhat unsmooth. A strong sense of crisis surged into his heart, and Yi Kuang knew that he could no longer sit still and wait for death. Fight it. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but grit his teeth, consumed all the power gained from burning longevity, and used the third form of Batian's 3 swords, Long Yin Jiutian. The law of the sword was added to his body, surrounded by a massive amount of power from heaven and earth, and he entered the state of unity of man and saber, turning into a huge golden dragon and rising into the sky. The golden dragon showed the power to dominate the world and collided with the reincarnation disc. If it weren't for the power of reincarnation to suppress all directions, the energy that spilled out would be terrifying. Despite this, Yi Kuang gradually fell into a disadvantage, and the transformed golden dragon showed signs of collapse. If it continued, he would definitely lose. Yi Chen put his hands behind his back and landed heavily on the Samsara heavenly disc. The force of suppression increased again, causing Yi Kuang's body to bend under the pressure. Powerful Holy Emperor, that's all. If you had no other means, you might die tragically here today, haha. Even if the other party was his father, Yi Chen had no intention of holding back and would not mind killing him if possible. Yi Kuang's face was extremely embarrassed, and Yi Chen's laughter was like a thorn piercing his heart. It's really unpredictable that he has a great reputation, but he has fallen to where he is now. But it's not that easy to kill him. The Vajra holy body has terrifying defensive power, and the Samsara sky disc can't kill him. Sir, you underestimate me. The words just fell. The power of the golden dragon became violent, like a volcano erupting. Bang! In the blink of an eye, the golden dragon exploded, forming a terrifying force of destruction that seemed to tear the entire world apart. The heavenly disc of Samsara was shattered, and all the blockades of the power of Samsara were broken. The aftermath swept thousands of miles away, and wherever it passed, the space was like a mirror cracking, creating countless space cracks. Yi Chen was caught off guard, and his whole body was thrown out by the impact, and he didn't know where he was swept. When he opened his eyes, he saw that he was plunged into darkness. The body was rolling in the space storm, feeling the terrifying twisting power of space. F***K, this old boy is so cruel. Yi Chen cursed secretly in his heart. Unexpectedly, it didn't take long for his body to be penetrated by countless space blades. In the blink of an eye, his body was covered with wounds, his body was stained red with blood, and he looked very embarrassed. The severe pain made Yi Chen couldn't help cursing, and quickly activated the 10,000 soul flags to release the souls in them to help him resist the spatial blade. Ah! Those souls let out shrill screams, unable to resist the destruction of the space blade, and fell apart in an instant. It turned into countless streaks of green smoke floating in the depths of the space, and Yi Chen didn't feel sorry for it at all. After the death of these souls, their power will return to the 10,000 soul banner and be resurrected, but their power will be weakened, which is equivalent to an immortal body. In this way, Yi Chen relied on the 10,000 soul banner to withstand most of the damage caused by the power of space. Coupled with the bug of relying on infinite spiritual power, he condensed a powerful defense and rushed out from the depths of the space step by step. As soon as he came out, he saw Yi Kuang, who was recovering from his injuries. His injuries were more serious than his own, and his breath had dropped a lot. Take your life. Yi Chen sacrificed the 10,000 souls banner and released all the souls in it. The dark wind roared like a locust leaf madly attacking. When the two of them reached the point where they were fighting to the death, there was no need to show mercy. Guizi, you are actually still alive? Yi Kuang was startled, quickly distanced himself, raised his magic sword and swept across it, annihilating half of the souls in an instant. When he continued to take action, he suddenly discovered that most of those souls were the black-armored soldiers under his command, and there was a trace of struggle on his face. It was this slight hesitation that gave Yi Chen an excellent opportunity to use the art of emptiness to quietly arrive behind Yi Kuang. The left eye spurted out terrible destructive power, instantly submerging the opponent. At the same time, a large amount of black flames appeared, trapping Yi Kuang in it. What exploded was the ability of the invincible dual pupils. Its power should not be underestimated. Under the same circumstances, it was not much weaker than the Samsara Sky Pan. Thinking of summoning the Samsara heavenly disc together, countless god-fiend shadows rushed into the netherworld flames. The two different pupils erupted at the same time, forming a killing blow to Yi Kuang. Chapter 19 The Real Quasi-Emperor. Yi Kuang was seriously injured and his strength dropped by several %. It was difficult to resist the three terrible forces of reincarnation, the power of destruction and the fire of the netherworld, and was at a disadvantage for a while. Swinging the sword seemed a bit powerless, and all the energy of the sword was annihilated. If it were not for the powerful defense of the Vajra holy body, it might not be able to sustain it for long. Damn it! It seems like this guy's spiritual power will never be used up. Yi Kuang cursed secretly. It was originally thought that breaking the Samsara heavenly disc, even if it could not kill Yi Chen, would at least cause him to suffer heavy damage and lose his ability to continue fighting. But now it seems that although Yi Chen was seriously injured, he was still able to explode with terrifying power. At this moment, Yi Kuang was in a dilemma, unless he burned his lifespan again at all costs in exchange for more powerful power. As expected of King Bailiang, if you hadn't hesitated when facing those souls, I really wouldn't have been able to do anything to you. He is truly a man of love and justice. I'm afraid a biological son is not as good as an outsider. I think it's funny. Yi Chen put his hands behind his back and kept mocking. Immortal cultivation world is so cruel. Without cultivation talent, you are really no better than a pig or a dog. The law of the jungle is vividly performed. If I hadn't obtained the system myself, I'm afraid the end would have been tragic. Thinking of this, his eyes became even colder. While the Holy Emperor Body Cultivation Experience card has not ended yet, even if Yi Kuang cannot be killed, he will still have to pay a heavy price. Yi Kuang was unmoved upon hearing this, and the law of the sword manifested, stalemate with the power of dual pupils. Use the Vajra holy body to resist the burning of the netherworld flames and the impact of Godfiend's shadow. There will be absolutely no problem in a short period of time. The sacred weapon of destiny, blade intent, soared into the sky, blocking the suppression of the reincarnation disc. Sir, I don't believe you can kill me. Just use whatever means you have. At this point, almost all the methods have been used. It depends on who can last longer. Then give it a try. Yi Chen looked very calm, and a steady stream of spiritual power flowed out of his body, increasing the power of several methods, and the two sides reached a stalemate. Deep in the unknown space, an old figure shuttled at high speed, heading towards the location of Bailiang City. The power of space is so chaotic, what happened? The old man suddenly frowned. He felt that the space in front of him was very chaotic and it was impossible to continue traveling. He had no choice but to retreat from the depths of the space. After coming out, I felt the power fluctuation coming from the distance, and I suddenly had a bad feeling in my heart. Did something happen to the Yi family? Thinking that the old man did not dare to delay, he teleported 100 miles away and quickly rushed towards Bailiang City. In just a moment, he crossed a distance of 100,000 miles and arrived above Bailiang City. Looking at the waste below, a look of anger appeared on his face. Damn, what happened? After scanning with his spiritual consciousness, he immediately discovered the source of the power. One of them was very familiar, and he quickly flew into the air to investigate the specific situation. Host, a powerful quasi-emperor is coming. You are no match for him at the moment. You need to leave Bidi as soon as possible. Yi Qin was startled, and when he scanned his consciousness, he found that a powerful figure was approaching quickly, and the aura it exuded was very terrifying. It should be the quasi-emperor the system mentioned. Without saying a word, he tore apart the space and got in. Now that his cultivation level was still far from being able to fight against a true quasi-emperor, he naturally decisively chose to escape. There is a secret technique called space jumping in Shengxing Wanji, which can span endless distances. Yi Qin used a large amount of spatial power, hoping to leave this place as soon as possible to avoid a head-on confrontation with the powerful quasi-emperor. Leave me here. An old voice came from afar, and a mysterious force froze the space around Yi Qin, making it impossible for him to move through it. The strong men at the holy level fight with the help of the power of the law, while the quasi-emperor's strong men can completely control the power of the law. The gap between them can be imagined. The other party has the strength of the quasi-emperor fourth layer, which is not comparable to what your father burned his lifespan to gain strength. The host must be careful and never explain it here. The powerful quasi-emperor is so terrifying. Yi Qin sighed when he heard this. He was afraid that burning 20,000 years of life to summon the reincarnation disc would not be able to do anything to the other party. It seems that it is impossible not to run away. Father, come and save me. Yi Kuang showed an expression of surprise and recognized the identity of the person from the voice. It was Yi Tianhe, the old man of the Yi family. 200 years ago, he cultivated at the 9th layer of the Holy Emperor realm. He traveled around looking for opportunities to break through to the quasi-emperor. Now it seems that he has really succeeded. Yi Tianhe came through the sky in a blink of an eye. After seeing his son's miserable state, he shattered the reincarnation disc with a wave of his hand, extinguished the netherworld flames, and annihilated the destructive power erupted by the dual pupils. After Yi Kuang escaped, he quickly bowed to Yi Tianhe. Thank you, father. You came back just in time, otherwise the child would be in danger. This man is so ruthless that he massacred tens of thousands of black armored troops, wiped out the entire Yi family, and turned Yi Kong into a human stick. His entire cultivation was wasted. Please father, please kill the opponent quickly and help the Yi family avenge themselves. When he said this, his eyes turned red, and his murderous intent reached its peak. He wanted to kill Yi Qin immediately. What? Yi Tianhe's expression changed. He remembered that before he went out to travel, Yi Kong showed amazing talents and also possessed a space divine body. If he grows up smoothly, he will definitely become the overlord of one party in the future. Who would have thought that he would encounter such a thing, which almost drove him crazy? The quasi-emperor's pressure burst out without reservation, and he suppressed Yi Qin and asked with a cold expression. Boy, what is your identity? If I recruit you truthfully, you may die a little more happily. In an era when the great emperor was a strong man, the quasi-emperor was the pinnacle of the human sovereign world. No matter what Yi Qin's background is, he must pay a heavy price to avenge the dead people of the Yi family. You Yi family members are all the same. Looking at Yi Tianhe's face, Yi Qin smiled and shook his head. It seemed that he was born too late and the other party didn't even know he existed. What do you mean? Yi Tianhe was very confused. He didn't understand how Yi Qin could still laugh. Did he still think he could escape from his hands? Ha ha ha. Yi Qin smiled even more wildly, pointed at Yi Kuang, and said jokingly. There must be no one who knows my identity better than your son Yi Kuang. You can ask him carefully. Chapter 20. A head full of silver hair. Yi Tianhe looked puzzled. He couldn't understand why his son was involved. Yi Kuang, tell me. Forehead. Yi Kuang became hesitant, and it was somewhat difficult to talk about this matter. Who makes the culprit be his own son? Your grandson. I feel like I can't explain it. After thinking for a long time, he could only bite the bullet and said. Father, it's a long story, and I will explain it to you later. The most important thing right now is to catch this kid. If he is allowed to escape, he will become the biggest hidden danger to the Yi family in the future. Yi Chen was ruthless in his actions. If he escaped today, he would definitely seek revenge on his other two sons, and the consequences would be absolutely disastrous. I won't play with you anymore. I believe we will meet again soon. A cold smile appeared at the corner of Yi Chen's mouth, and in an instant, he burned 99% of his lifespan resolutely. Her glossy black hair turned to silvery white in the blink of an eye, and she was surrounded by the aura of twilight, as if she was heading towards death. However, the majestic vitality was being continuously transformed into unparalleled power, rushing through his body like a tide, and he finally tried his best to break free from the restraints. Not good. Yi Tianhe's expression changed drastically. He didn't expect Yi Chen to be so decisive, burning his lifespan without any scruples, and suddenly raising his strength to a level comparable to that of a quasi-emperor. Facing such a ruthless person, Yi Tianhe did not dare to slack off at all. He quickly formed seals with his hands, and the surrounding space suddenly collapsed, turning into a huge black hole, trying to block Yi Chen's escape. Yi Chen's head full of silver threads danced wildly with the wind, and he activated the Samsara immortal demon eyes with all his strength, bursting out with a power that shocked the world and weeping ghosts and gods. Two bright divine lights instantly penetrated the huge black hole. At the same time, the reincarnation disc was summoned, and millions of god-fiend shadows spewed out from it, firmly blocking Yi Tianhe's progress. Immediately afterwards, Yi Chen used the space-jumping technique, and his breath disappeared without a trace in an instant, as if it had never appeared. Yi Tianhe's face was extremely gloomy, and endless divine light gathered on his fists. The next moment, millions of god-fiend phantoms disappeared into smoke and disappeared into nothingness. There were a lot of cracks in the reincarnation disc, and it was obvious that it could not withstand Yi Tianhe's full blow. The terrifying consciousness was released, trying to chase Yi Chen with the remaining aura, but unfortunately nothing was found. What a decisive guy. If he doesn't die, he will definitely be a serious problem for the Yi family in the future. With his silver hair and twilight aura, you can tell how ruthless Yi Chen is. He burned almost all his lifespan just to fight for that glimmer of hope. Yi Kuang was a little unbelievable. Yi Chen had burned a lot of longevity before he was seriously injured. Such a great meeting, burning longevity energy to increase strength, and escaping from the hands of a true quasi-emperor is simply too unbelievable. Father, I'm afraid the other party's next target is Yi Feng and Yi Yun. What should we do? Yi Kuang was very worried about the safety of his eldest son and second son. Although both of them were in the semi-saint realm, they were obviously not enough to face Yi Chen, who was in the holy emperor realm. Yi Tianhe waved his hand and spoke to calm Yi Chen's mood. Don't worry too much. That guy's cultivation level is only in the air control realm. He must have used some taboo method to forcibly increase his strength to a level comparable to you and me. Now that Fang Shou Yuan has been almost burned out, he shouldn't be able to make any big waves in the future. As a powerful quasi-emperor, he had already seen the clues in Yi Chen, but he had not stated it clearly before. After pondering for a moment, he added, "But this guy probably won't die so easily. The last thing he used seems to be a space-jumping technique. It's impossible to determine where the opponent was teleported to. As long as he is not the real holy emperor." Yi Kuang breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this, and most of the worries in his heart were relieved. Moreover, both Yi Feng and Yi Yun have joined different holy places, and there are prepared strong men to take charge of them. Yi Chen is not a real strong saint emperor, so he does not pose any threat to them for the time being. However, to be on the safe side, he still took out the summons token and summoned the millions of black armored troops under his command and the Yi family members scattered around the country. Chase Yi Chen at all costs and see if you can take advantage of his weakness to completely eliminate this guy and prevent future troubles. As long as Yi Chen is still within the Liang dynasty, there will be absolutely nowhere to hide among the millions of black armored troops and Yi family members who are rooted in various places. After doing all this, Yi Kuang suddenly remembered a more important thing, that is, the half-dead Yi Kong didn't know what he had become. By the way, father, go and see Kong quickly and see if there is any remedy? As a powerful quasi-emperor, Yi Tianhe may have a way to restore Yi Kong to his original state, no matter what the price is. Tear. Yi Kuang opened the independent space with a slight stroke of his finger, revealing the figures of Murong Shui and Yi Kong. Mother, just let me die, I can't bear it anymore. At this time, Yi Kong was in despair, all his limbs were severed, his meridians and dantian were all shattered, and his proud space body was completely destroyed. The double blow, both psychological and physical, completely shattered his Taoist heart, and blood continued to ooze out of his empty eyes, making people shudder like blood and tears. Murong Shui burst into tears and looked lost. Despite this, he had to continue to comfort Yi Kong's emotions. Konger, never give up on yourself. No matter how much it costs, my mother will make you recover as before, you believe me. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw Yi Tianhe and two people outside, and they immediately seemed to have grasped a life-saving straw. Father, husband, please hurry up and save Konger. No matter how high the price is, we must let him recover and take it out. If necessary, I can be the mother-in-law's help. Little did he know that when he said this, he had already forgotten about Yi Chen and didn't care about his life or death. Didn't even ask a question. One can imagine how biased it is. I'll do my best. Yi Tianhe shook his head. As a quasi-emperor, he was afraid to look directly at Yi Kong's current miserable situation. It was simply inhumane. I really don't know how much hatred can make a person do this. But now is not the time to dwell on this matter. He quickly walked up to Yi Kong and cast a spell to heal his injuries. The majestic vitality was injected into Yi Kong's body, and the severed limbs grew back. Next it was the eyes' turn. They grew back soon, but lost their original luster, and seemed to have lost hope for life. You are listening to it in Eugene Light Novels.